Why, hello, you lovely little peppercorns. My name's Noa Lee, and happy Thanksgiving weekend to y'all, for those of you who celebrated. How y'all doing today? I see we got Live Coil Archive already, ready to go. How you doing there, bud? Good to see ya. I'm going to hop in to Ristar, which I started playing last week, just as the chat warms up here. Which games that I last played, which Ristar should be on this list. It's not. oh, wait, there it is. Okay. We'll just continue off where I left off last week while the chat warms up. What's up, hoo-hoo-hoo? How you doing? The Mad Lad is back to streaming. Yeah, how you been? Long time no see. Good to see you in the chat. We've been having some retro game hopping goodness the last couple of weeks on stream, and it's been really awesome. And I'm glad you're joining us today. I'm gonna enter in ye old password into Ristar here. That's what we're gonna start with today. But if you got any recommendations there, buddy, old pal, hoo, let me know. I'll put it on the list. I also have a surprise for everybody today. I finally got Sonic Blast on this thing, and it works. So, well, finally, after, like, what, a month of wanting to play that game, we'll finally be able to do it. I am going to enter in the cheat code here. Oops, that's the wrong button. We want this button. I always love that the level select password for Ristar is easy to remember. Because it's just, I love you. So cute. Streets of Rage series? Yeah, I don't actually know. Did we end up playing a Streets of Rage game on previous streams? I don't think we did. You got one you prefer? 1, 2, I got 3 on here. We basically have 14,000 retro game ROMs we can hop around at our leisure, so yeah. Hey, what's up, Raju Wisdom? Good evening, everyone. How's it going there in Germany? I have a post-it note stuck to my sock. Oh, that's a note for a video I'm working on. Cool. Apparently, oh, no, damn it. Apparently there was 2 post-it notes with some notation from a video I'm working on, and they both got stuck to my sock simultaneously. Honestly, try to play from 1 to 3. All right, we'll go with 2. I'm most familiar with 1, so we'll go with 2. Does that make sense? Put Streets of Rage 2. Let's put Streets 2 on there. Nice. Yeah, the series kind of got a little weird after the first 3 games, and I know a lot of people aren't really all that big on 3. I've only played it once. I thought it was fine, personally, but I think I left off on... Oop, Planet Sonata. I technically didn't beat round 1 of Planet Sonata last time before we hopped to a different game, but I was at the mini-boss, so I'm just going to start on World 2. What's up, Jimble Dragon? Still upvoting Parasite? Yeah, oh, yeah. I was going to put Parasite Eve on here this week, too. I totally forgot. I'm sorry about that. Yes, 2 is good. We'll go with 2. Oh, I fucked that up. Off to a great start. But before we get to Streets of Rage, we're going to do some Sonic Blast. It is Sonic Blast time. We'll see if some more regulars show up in the chat before then, because I know there's several people that have been looking forward to me playing that awful game. So, there's that. Did you guys all have a good week? I had a pretty good week. It's pretty chill because of the holiday, the Thanksgiving and stuff. Things are going okay-ish. Mixed bag of a weekend, and trying to wean off all social interaction online has turned out harder than expected. Case in point, still felt like hopping in here. Yeah, that's hard. I guess for some people. For most people, actually. I'm the weirdo that never liked interacting socially online, and YouTube is the one exception to that I have. But yeah, I definitely feel you on that, because a lot of my friends have tried to do the whole social media detox before, and it's a lot harder. I think that's one of those things that if social media is your thing, it's really hard to let go of. And I can understand that. So good luck with that. Thank you for coming to the stream anyway. I appreciate it. Honestly, 3 will always be that weird black sheep, but overall it's a fun game. Overall it's a fun game. But Streets of Rage 4 is honestly one of my favorite games, and I also remember I did a stream with my friend with Sonic 3D Blast. Yes, we're gonna play Sonic Blast though, which is not good. Streets of Rage 3, like I said, I only played it the one time, and I don't want to say I was underwhelmed by it, but it definitely isn't as polished as the first two games, and it didn't really. At the time I played it, I wasn't really big into the first two games to begin with, so it didn't really seem like a game I needed to give more time to. But now that I'm more into the series, I think it'd be worthwhile to go back and play it again. That's kind of how I felt about kind of how I felt about Golden Axe 3 as well. That is considered like a massive black sheep in the Golden Axe series, which I'm a lot more into than Streets of Rage. But I really like that game, honestly. It's way different from 1 and 2 and Revenge of Death Adder, but how many more times can I hit those spikes right there? But I don't know, I really like it, and I think the reason people discredit it is because it's clearly unfinished. Like, some levels are just empty and boring and don't really have much going on, but some levels are really well designed too, so I think it's just a case of Sega never let their developers finish that one, which sucks. And it never got a Western release either, at least not until much later on like the PS2 in various collections. So yeah, it was never fondly remembered by many people. I worked on Thanksgiving. Oh man, I feel for you. I used to work at Best Buy. I had to work Black Friday or Thanksgiving and Black Friday every year. Whew. Yeah, and it's always busy. I hope you didn't work retail. If you worked on Thanksgiving, you probably work retail. So there's that. I feel for you. And that's coming from someone with no Twitter or Facebook, just some story and art sites. Yeah, I mean, that can wear on you. Like, honestly, like, just YouTube stuff wears on me a lot, too. And, you know, not so much you guys, but because there's, like, the regulars on my channel that I like interacting with, and that kind of gives me energy. But then there's, like, some randos that comment on my videos, and they might not even have something negative to say, but just, you know, interacting with strangers, even strangers online, is very taxing. Which is funny because people talk about like social anxiety and stuff, and I don't really have that in person with people, but I've always had like, I don't know what to call it, online social anxiety. Like, to me, talking to somebody online is way more anxiety inducing than like talking to somebody on the phone or in person. It's really weird. I don't know if anybody else that's like this. It's just me, apparently. Because I could, like, go out in public and, like, talk to strangers, like, all the time, and not that I really enjoy doing that, but it doesn't really drain me as much as, like, you know, something like on Reddit or Twitter or Discord back when I had a Discord. Like, that stuff just kind of is anxiety-inducing to me, and I don't really know what it is, what the difference is there. This might be my least favorite boss in this game. Ow. The jumping and dodging his attacks is, like, really precise. Ugh. At least I remember that when I was a kid, this was the boss I always had the most trouble with. Which is probably why they gave, I think, Sonic Team, or the company that was standing in as Sonic Team when this game was made, I think they knew that because this is the only boss that you can actually get some health back during the fight. So it's kind of seemed like they designed it. Ow. They designed it and like, oh crap, this is way too hard. Ah, maybe if I could grab him. There we go. And we win. Yay. Oh, blast. Oh, no. Oh, yes. People have been asking me to play Sonic Blast for weeks now, but it wasn't on my collection of retro games that I had. I was playing on a Retro Pi originally for the first few weeks of streaming. and it wasn't on there. So then last week, I got a Steam Deck, and I dumped all my ROMs and my emulators onto my Steam Deck and got them going. But then I was still going to play on the RetroPie, just because I didn't fully have all my emulators and stuff set up. So then I put Sonic Blast on my RetroPie, thinking we could finally play it last week, and it bricked my RetroPie. It wouldn't boot last week, so I had frantically connected up the Steam Deck that I thankfully took the time to put some emulators and ROMs on, and that's what we played on. And then today, I put Sonic Blast on the Steam Deck, expecting it to break it, because it's the curse of Sonic Blast, but it actually works, so we're going to play it today. It's going to be great. Oof, Best Buy must be terrible on Black Friday. It was! Oh yeah, it was terrible. It's not as bad as you might think, though, because even though, I was a manager at Best Buy, which means I had to, work 12 hours on Black Friday. It was insane. Thanksgiving and Black Friday was an automatic 12-hour shift if you were a manager or supervisor. And, so it sounded like a really long and, stressful day, but it actually, because there was so much going on and because, so many customers and, employees were expecting it to be, stressful, it actually wasn't too bad. The days went by really fast. I just remember, every Black Friday shift I worked at Best Buy went by much faster than, a typical 8-hour shift, just because there was so much going on and there was, no downtime. But then, of course, at the end of the day, you're just freaking exhausted, so, yeah. It was rough, but I don't think it was as rough as, some places. I think working at, Walmart or Target on Black Friday would be a lot worse. Best Buy seems to be, I don't know, it seems to attract the kind of people that don't freak the hell out, at least the Best Buy I worked at. Maybe it's different in, bigger cities, but at least in the area I worked in, people were pretty chill. For the most part, it was just a lot of people. Definitely had a few, people trying to rob the store in the middle of all the chaos or something like that, but not as much as you would think. At least the 3 years I worked there, the 3 Black Fridays that I did at Best Buy, we didn't have anybody get trampled, so there's that. So yeah. Mega Man X4, that's on a PlayStation 1, right? I don't know if I have that on here, but I'll put it on the list. I've only ever played the first 3 Mega Man X games. 3 very briefly. 2 I've beaten a couple times, but I'm not a big fan of. And Mega Man X, obviously, I've played a million times, but let's put Mega Man X4 on your list. Yeah. So how many games have you finished so far in your conquest of your game list? Wait, what? In conquest of your game list fans are recommending. How many games have I finished so far? Oh, I don't know. We don't finish a lot of games on stream, mostly because I like hopping around, so everybody gets a little say. Because if you were to Streets of Rage, it's a pretty short game, but because we're streaming and I'm pausing to talk and interact with you guys, it would probably take an hour, and I only stream for 3 hours at a time, so. So not a lot. We did spend an entire stream playing through Sonic 3 and Knuckles. That was a long stream. That was a good stream, but yeah, a while ago. So I guess 1. No, I got trampled. It's a great time. It's a great line, stealing that one. Oh, yeah. But I would like to, some games like Ristar here. I turned on last week because, chat was kind of slow, and I was playing by myself for the first 10 minutes, and there wasn't really a request, so I'm gonna turn on Ristar, and then I don't know, I kind of like the idea of certain games like this one, continuing them, maybe not beating them all in one thing, but continuing on. Last week I think we ended with Mario 3 on the Game Boy Advance, which we should continue that, because that was a lot of fun. I really like that. Might just be the definitive version of that game, too. Oh, it's such a good level, too. Such a good level, and one of my favorite games of all time. Sorry, I really need to proofread my comments. That's okay. I just assumed it was my dyslexia. It's fine. That's how I read, even if it is proper grammatically correct. John Bellardo, how you doing? How you feel about classic games versus modern games? I'm a fan of both. I think both have their place and both are great. I don't think one is necessarily better than the other, although I do tend to lean more into the retro side of things, just because I feel like a lot of modern stuff is just kind of treading the same ground, and I feel like video games were much more experimental back in the day, whereas now there's a lot more trend chasing. Not to say there wasn't trend chasing back in the day. I mean, just look at mascot platformers on during the 16-bit era. But I feel like nowadays it's all about so-and-so came out with a game and it was a massive hit, therefore everybody needs to try and replicate that in their own way. Look at Dark Souls, how it became so popular and now everybody wants to be Dark Souls, or Ubisoft open world games become super popular, and everybody's kind of still trying to chase that trend, even though I feel like most gamers are burnt out on that at the moment. And I feel like nowadays it's all about get up there. Thank you. I feel like modern games are more about optimization and trying to appeal to as many people as possible while putting in the fewest resources possible. And I'm sure that's always been I'm sure that's always been a case in the AAA scene going back to the early days of video games. But it just seems to be more prevalent nowadays. But that isn't to say there aren't plenty of great games and experimental ones, and those ones tend to stand out from the bunch. I mean, Elden Ring is, freaking unbelievable. But now everybody's trying to copy Elden Ring, so there's that. So I don't know, both have their merits. I think the biggest problem with modern games, though, is that it used to be that a company like EA or Activision would publish, I don't know, a dozen games in a year, or something like that. And some of them be really high budget, and some would be lower budget, too. So there was a lot more room for experimentation. But nowadays, it seems like a big company like EA or Activision or Ubisoft, they might have 2 or 3 games, and all of them are massive high budgets, trying to appeal to the same audience, and then kind of, I don't know. I feel like Ubisoft's a good example. The audience for Assassin's Creed is the same audience for Far Cry, is the same audience for the Tom Clancy Division games, etc. But go back 20 years and Ubisoft would be doing stuff like that, but also be publishing Rayman, or doing some weird experimental stuff. Even going back before that, they do back when Ubisoft had the Star Wars license, they had a whole bunch of experimental Star Wars games. But companies don't, at least big companies, don't really do that anymore. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I think about the difference between modern and stuff. Both definitely have their merits. I think, man, I'm really sucking at the snowball fight here. Dang. Totally lost my train of thought because I realized how awful I'm doing at the snowball fight. Hold on here. Hold on. Come on. Come on. Let's get this. Ah, dang. I have done this so many times in my life. Why can't I do this? This is ridiculous. This is the 30th time I've played through this game. Come on. Come on. Oh, no, don't make a snowman. Make a snowball. Come on, Ristar. Get with the program. I just got him one more time, I think. Get with the program here. Nothing there we go. Come on. All right, anyway, what are we doing? Oh, yeah. Hey, what's up, Wakos? How you doing? Love the color scheme of this level. Anyway, yeah, before we finish the level here, I do gotta mention, oh wait, it's the next level I'm thinking of, but yeah, this is a great level. We don't need to play for points. It's fine. I'm gonna mention, before we go into this next level here, this has, an interesting take on, ice and snow levels that I haven't seen in very many games, and that's what I'm gonna call the quote-unquote meltdown level. it's like that very specific moment, like at the end of winter when it starts to get warm outside and everything's all sloppy and wet, but it's not quite muddy yet. It's just like sloppy, wet snow, and there's water everywhere, and, you know, there's snow running down the hills and stuff. That's not something you see a lot in games. It's mostly, you know, just icy cold and water, or icy cold and water, icy cold and like snow falling from the sky and like ice games. But this is one of the few that I could think of that has that one specific part of winter where it's all just starting to melt, but it hasn't gotten like, you know, muddy and gross out yet. I don't know. Just kind of really nice, and I really do like the aesthetics of this level. What the hell were we talking about before that? Oh yeah, retro modern games. Yeah, let me have a certified Diet Coke moment here and catch up with the chat. Kind of like cartoons or Hollywood then. There was a time when you couldn't shake a stick at a TV without someone in spandex popping up. Now it's just Teen Titans Go and Bean Faces. Yes, yeah, or that. And that's the thing, is like, I don't think there's anything wrong, to use a Teen Titans Go example, I don't think there's anything wrong with Teen Titans Go, but I do see a problem with, you know, everything trying to be Teen Titans Go. You know, I do like I'm one of the few people that like the Powerpuff Girls reboot, but it was very clearly trying to get to like the same audience as like Teen Titans Go. Thankfully, they didn't go quite as far as that. In fact, they even did a crossover episode with Teen Titans Go, which it kind of threw me for a loop because I never watched Teen Titans Go. Yeah. But that show would have been a lot better if it had just not tried to chase that trend, I think. Or like the Thundercats Roar thing. And I feel like that's what modern games are doing, is like something's popular and everybody chases it. And it can lead to good things. I mean, it's very clear that Game Freak, for example, in recent years has really wanted to make an open world Pokemon game, thanks to the trend of like, you know, everybody copying like the success of Breath of the Wild and, you know, more recently Elden Ring, and stuff like that. And I feel like that I feel while the new Pokemon game isn't perfect, I feel like it's on the right path. And if they hadn't been chasing that trend, I don't think they would have quite felt comfortable experimenting with the open world concept. And I've always wanted an open world Pokemon game, and this is so close. It's so close to being my perfect Pokemon game that maybe the next generation will be what I'm looking for, because they're definitely on the right track. They just aren't quite there yet. But yeah, if it wasn't for like, you know, Breath of the Wild's success, I don't think Nintendo would have allowed Game Freak to experiment with an open world style. So there's you know, there's positive aspects to trend chasing too. Innovation can come out of trend chasing, but you know, it's going to be done by a developer like I genuinely feel like Game Freak is a company that wants to experiment and do different things with the Pokemon series, but Nintendo just won't let them step too far out of the established brand. That's how I feel like every new Pokemon generation, like, they're a company that's being held back by Nintendo, and that makes me sad. Yeah. I gotcha. I'm a recent subscriber. Well, I'm glad you're here, John. Thank you. I'm a recent subscriber, and I gotta say I really love the content, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate it. The way you review classic games, shows, and etc. is really enjoyable. Well, keep up the great work. Sure will. Thank you, John. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming out. What's my opinion on remake games? All right. There we go. Also, what game is this? This is Ristar for the Sega Genesis, a little-known game that is kind of made by Sonic Team. It has Sonic Team's branding on it, but it was actually like a bunch of interns. Maybe not interns. They were kind of like a third-party company that was contracted by Sonic Team to make this game, but they weren't credited as whatever third-party company they were. They were credited as Sonic Team. It's a really weird development situation. The Gaming Historian has a great video on Ristar. He calls it Rystar, which is fine. I don't judge how wrong he is. But he has a really great video on the history of this where he goes into it and how it wasn't really Sonic Team that developed this game, but it also kind of was Sonic Team. I don't know. If it were Sonic Team, this would be the best Sonic Team game. This is fantastic. This is way better than Sonic, in my opinion. It's a childhood game that I rented a lot as a kid and have played a million frickin' times. Never stops being enjoyable. All right. What are we talking about? My opinion on remake games. Okay. Not a big fan of remake games. I appreciate what somebody like Blue Point does, but I also don't really understand the point at the end of the day. Demon Souls, the Demon Souls remake is a great example, because I feel like that's the kind of game that, well, for those of you who don't know, Blue Point games, their whole shtick is like remaking the visual and the quality of life aspects of older games without actually changing like their core design functionality, which sounds like a great idea, but it can lead to this sort of weird interplay. And I think Demon Souls is a perfect example where you have like a where you have getting hit by whatever the hell he's eating. Where you have a game that looks like a really awesome, really high polished, really, you know, next gen. Oh wow, I beat him already. Totally did that on autopilot. A really high polished next gen game, but it plays like a game that was from, oh yeah, I gotta do a thing, from like 2 generations back. And there's this weird sort of feeling that happens when you have a game like that where your brain thinks that it should be a lot more polished and play a lot smoother than it actually does, just because the visuals are so great. So what I guess what I'm getting at there is that there's a mismatch between the visuals and the quote-unquote game feel that for someone like me that's, you know, familiar with like the feel of Demon Souls isn't a big deal, but I've heard a lot of people that, like my friend Matt, for example, the first time he played Demon Souls was on the PS5 and he played the remake, and he said it was like excruciating because that game is so clunky and so rough around the edges because it, you know, was a PS3 game and an extremely experimental game with a very rough development at that. But it looked so hyper polished that it kind of like fooled his brain into thinking that it should play a lot better than it actually does. And honestly, I prefer the look of Demon Souls on the PS3 to the remake. I think, you know, I think the atmosphere is better. I think the lighting fits, you know, the mood better. I think the ugly aesthetic and the lower poly graphics adds to the charm, and, you know, whereas like some of the higher poly models are kind of distracting a little bit. Like, it's hard to like, or like some of the bosses just look too good. There's another thing. Like, I've seen clips of like some of the bosses and they are just so like pretty to look at, but in the original they were ugly and disgusting. And I feel like that was an intentional design choice that FromSoft made, that the developers at Blue Point, as great of a job as they did and, you know, and what they were trying to accomplish, I feel like they just kind of missed the point in some situations. But I also think that that's still kind of I don't know. I would have just preferred a remaster of Demon Souls, for example. I feel like it's the same thing as that one shot-for-shot remake of Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho that was made in the 90s, I think. Like, it was functionally the same movie, but with different actors and, you know, better camera technology, better lighting, and special effects and stuff like that, or quote-unquote better. I always hated the spot. But... And it's like, what's the point at that point? Like, why'd you go to such great lengths? But on the other hand, you have remakes that are completely different, and it's like, why didn't you just make a whole new property to begin with? So, I don't know. Much like movies, I kind of struggle to see the utility of remakes in general. honestly, I think the purpose of a remake would be to take something that was an absolute colossal failure and remake that instead, but you never see that. So, like, you know, I would like to see a remake of Bubsy 3D, because I think that game had a lot of potential, but they just had no freaking idea what they were doing, and it's, you know, widely considered one of the worst games of all time because of it. Like, why not? Oh, man. I'm so used to doing this with Genesis controller. That was throwing me off. But, like, why not remake a piece of crap like Bubsy 3D and, you know, try to make it good? Like, that makes more sense in my mind, but I don't know. I guess what it boils down to is remakes are not about actually, like, preserving or... let's just tank this. Let's just tank it. It's fine. About preserving or, like, reimagining stuff for, like, a modern era. It's all about marketing at the end of the day. Yeah. I feel like I took way longer to say what I wanted to say on that, but I'm probably gonna... Oop, I missed. There we go. Come on. Oh, come on. I just want to do this. Aha! No. Damn. Let's just do this. Or not. Okay. There, that's what I wanted to do. Probably still gonna die. We're gonna pause this, catch up with the chat. Yeah. Oh, I see some Final Fantasy talk going on here. Final Fantasy 9 is my favorite, but Final Fantasy 6 is for sure second place. I would agree. Yep. 9, then 6. 9, 6. And then 4. I really like 4, too. Those are about the only Final Fantasy games I genuinely like, I think. Is 9, 6, and 4 in that order. Oh, yeah. No, you're right. Blue Point has typically only done remastered. They only did the one remake, but yeah, that's a good point. So yeah, bad example there, just with Demon Souls. Ignore everything I said about Blue Point being a remake company. It seems like that's a trend they're going to go for, though, because I think from now on, because of the success of, like, the Demon Souls remake, that's probably going to be what they do. But you're right. They definitely have only well, actually, I thought they actually remade Shadow of the Colossus. Did they just polish that up? I don't know. I never played that one. We'll see. Hey, what's up, Joel Allen? How you doing? Hey, Noah, I love your retro Sonic videos. Are you planning to play/review Frontiers? I was going to buy Frontiers, but then I bought a Steam Deck, and now I'm poor, so I didn't get it. Maybe. I do want to play it. I don't know if I'll review it. I don't set out with the goal of reviewing games anymore, because my goal nowadays is I play through a game and then I decide if I want to review it, because it's kind of bitten me in the ass in the past where, like, I've been like, I want to review this game, but then I'm playing the game and I'm just like, either I like it, but there's not really anything interesting going on, or I don't like it. I just don't want to play it. So, you know, saying I'm going to review something, like, leads me to, you know, force myself to play through something, which puts me in a state of mind that's not going to be conducive to giving it a fair shake. And I don't like doing that. I've done it in the past, but yeah, so if I do review Sonic Frontiers, it will be after I already play it, and am on my second playthrough. That's another thing. I don't review games unless I'm on my second playthrough either nowadays, because I kind of feel like, at least speaking for myself, in the past when I've reviewed games, the videos that I don't feel like hold up very well, or the opinions I had on games that don't hold up very well, are the games that I only did like a single playthrough of. It's mostly just I didn't give myself enough time with the game to get to know it properly. I didn't wine and dine it properly, if you want. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I might review Frontiers in the future, but it's going to be way down the road. I am considering doing a review of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, though, because I'm about 20 hours into it right now, and I'm finding I have a lot to say about it, both good and bad. I think I have a more positive take on it than most people, because all I'm seeing is, like, a lot of negativity about it right now, and I don't know. I think there's some interesting things in there that people are overlooking because of how broken and buggy it is in some places, and I don't know. We'll see. I haven't fully pulled the trigger on that, but I do have, you know, quite a bit of notes right now. That's another thing. I'm a weirdo. I take notes on every game I play. Don't worry about it. It's fine. I do have quite a few notes on the new Pokemon game, so I might. It seems pretty likely at this point that I will. Final Fantasy IV is third best. Yeah. First one with a good story. I would say so, yeah. First one with a good story for sure. Actually, yeah, they did 2 remakes, which is funny because Shadow did get... Okay, Shadow was a remake. Okay, there we go. Shadow got a remaster and then a remake by the same company. That's what I was thinking, because the reason I didn't get the remake is... my game just crashed and I can't unpause it. What the fuck? What happened? Oh, dang. Ristar broke. Oh, dang. What? Oh. Emulation station crashed. No! Okay, technical difficulties. What the hell? Just do this. Okay, well, Steam Deck still works. Are you good? You good, bro? I'm trying to stream here. Uh-oh. Shit. I guess we'll just, Nope, that's not what I want. I don't know how to close this without shutting down the Steam Deck. Well, that sucks. How about... what if I do this? What the fuck? Alright, what do we got here? I feel, you know, I don't buy games till they're on sale. I'm cheap. Yeah, I don't like paying full price for games these days. Yep. Will you ever review or play the Mega Man X titles, such as X1 through 4? Maybe. I mean, honestly, any game is open to being played or being reviewed, in my opinion. It's just, it doesn't even matter if it's a good or a bad game. It all comes down to what I was saying was, like, I have to have enough, there has to be enough meat on the bones for me to talk about. If I play a game and there's enough for me to talk about that I find interesting, I don't know what I'm doing here. Huzzah. Then rearrange controller order. That's what I'm looking for. Is that it? Yeah, that's where I want it to be. I think emulation station just crashed. Okay. Let's just okay. Let's do that. Anyway, sorry for that. I guess we're done with Ristar for now. We're going to hop to some Sonic Blast here. It's going to be great. Anyway, the Paint Huffer. What's up? Hey, Noah, I've been a fan of your videos for a couple years now, most especially thanks to your classic Sonic videos. Wanted to ask if you can stream Earthworm Jim or Klonoa. Ooh, I'm going to put those both on the list, mostly because I just played Klonoa not too long ago, and I really like that game. We're going to put... Earthworm Jim on the list. Also great game. Haven't played that in a long time. Probably going to suck ass at it, but that's okay. Earthworm... I wrote Earthroom Jim. That's fine. I'll know what I mean. Jim. And Klonoa. Good choices. Yeah, man. Klonoa's great. That's funny you brought that up. Like, I was just playing that a week ago after not playing it for several years. So good. Hey, what's up, Tanish? How you do? Good morning to you. I respect that. You put a lot of effort in your videos. Oh, thanks, Joe. Appreciate that. I try. I really do. I'm trying to balance putting a lot of effort into my videos and actually releasing something, you know, once in a while. Because releasing stuff is fun, too. Oh, yeah. We talking about which Final Fantasy is the best? Yeah, we kind of are. You know, we got several great conversations going simultaneously here. It's great. And we're finally going to play some Sonic Blast right now. Let's do it. I got the Master System version because it's slightly more tolerable. Jimble Dragon, Steam, Emulation Station, Exit Game. Yeah, I figured that out. Thanks, Jimble. Probably could have read your comments sooner, and I figured it. You probably know better than I do because you're the one that turned me on to the Steam Deck in the first place. I like how they didn't adjust the title screen for this. It's still in the, they just still have it cropped for the Game Gear. Oh god, this color scheme is just so god awful. Ugh. Heck, got another request. Beat the Mist Dragon in Final Fantasy IV SNES version. Is that like the first boss? I think it is. Mist Dragon. Okay, let's put some Final Fantasy IV on there. Ironically, the SNES version of Final Fantasy IV. Oh god, this game. the SNES version of Final Fantasy IV is the. Oh, that's right. You have a double jump in this game. Randomly. Is the only version of Final Fantasy IV I haven't played. I've played the, what was it, the PSP version, which I think I played in emulation. The original one I played was the DS version, which is fantastic in my opinion. I really like the cartooniness of that. Can I spin dash? I can spin dash. Okay, well that does not bode well. All right. I don't know about you, but I'm typed to really listen to the OST of the games I play. When I play Sonic CD for the first time, I couldn't help but... Apparently that button start. Cool, found that. Couldn't help but bot to the OST for the X games and etc. I don't tend to listen to OSTs outside of the games very often. There's been exceptions. Sonic CD is one that I've definitely listened to a lot by itself, because you can't go wrong with either soundtrack for Sonic CD. They both are fantastic. Both the Japanese and the American soundtracks, both great. Can't choose which one I like more. Never been able to. Undertale is a game that I listen to the music a lot outside of the game. That's about it. Yeah, I do listen to music, but I don't. It's not like a big thing in my life. I'm mostly a gamer and a book guy, I guess. A book nerd. I don't know. I've been reading like the last few years instead of watching TV, and it's been great. But I also do, like, when I'm working and stuff, I do like to listen to music sometimes. And video game music does fill that for me sometimes, too. Mostly Sega Genesis music, but I usually turn on, like a playlist with, like, 3 hours of Sega Genesis music as opposed to like, one game or something like that. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this might just be because this is the Master System version. This game's not as bad as I remember. It's still not great, but it's definitely a lot more playable than the Game Gear version. Master System version is somewhat playable. It's still ugly as sin. Like, God, it's just one of the ugliest Sonic games. Sonic just looks so bad. At least it's, like, tolerable on the Master System? I don't know. Also, I feel this is off topic. Wanted to ask if I could potentially do some art or whatnot for the future videos of yours. Apologies for bothering. No, you're not bothering me, man. I am going to respectfully decline, though. Mostly because I'm a jack of all trades who likes to do everything himself. So while I appreciate it, I kind of like doing all my own artwork and stuff like that. It kind of forces me to, like, dive into different artistic avenues that I wouldn't normally go to. But, yeah, if things change, I'll let you know. You do some art, huh? I think it was, let's see, it was Fungi Arts sent me a really cool picture to my email, which is Noa Lee VGC@gmail.com. So, yeah, if you want to share some of your artwork with me, dude, go for it. That sounds cool. I like seeing stuff like that. It's the one thing that... Why did they even bother here? I can't do, like, a loop. Oh, my God. So one thing that makes me wish I could tolerate, like, Discord or more social media interaction is, like, the ability for, like, you know, oh, God. People to, like, share their artwork with me and stuff like that. And not feel like they're bothering me, which you're not. Like, if you send me stuff to my email, unless you're, like, doing it all the frickin' time, like, don't worry about, like, feeling like you're bothering me or asking me. I genuinely appreciate sentiments like that, but I do like to do stuff all myself. It's kind of a pride point for me to kind of, you know, like, oh, I need a logo for this, you know, for whatever. I guess I'll learn how to use Inkscape this week or something like that. That to me is the most enjoyable part of making videos, is like experimentation and pushing the boundaries of what I, you know, can do, which is Probably why my channel is so, I guess, so full of randomness, because I like to... Did I just... Am I actually winning, or... I'm kind of stuck here. I can't move. Okay. Not sure what happened. No, I did it again. Oh my god. Best Sonic game. This is the best Sonic game. Okay, let's maybe not. I like how he just like when he goes to turn around, his sprite just despawns for a few frames, and then... That's so funny. Oh, man. Yeah, and you get stuck in the corner here, and you can't move. Yay, we did it. This is probably the most anyone's ever played this game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, John, if the OST isn't bopping, then it's gonna be a rough game. True, true. Many a mediocre game has been carried by a good soundtrack. Let's just say that. Finally, let's go with this garbage. Oh, yeah. Love those cheap stop-motion videos. This game looks like a bootleg. It's like an officially licensed bootleg. Yeah, absolutely. How was this officially published? I believe this came out after Donkey Kong Country, and everybody was trying to jump on the whole like pre-rendered pre-rendered CG using sprites and stuff. Because that was like a big trend after Donkey Kong Country. And Sega was like, yeah, let's do it. But instead of putting it on the Saturn, which I'm pretty sure was out by the time that this piece of shit came out, or at least making it for the Saturn. I don't know, Colin's not in the chat today. He's a Saturn guy. He would know. Yeah, I think they just like, let's do it on hardware that's, you know, a generation behind what Donkey Kong Country is on. You know, that's a good idea, right? Wow, these levels are really short. Holy crap. Not that I'm complaining. Hey, we might actually beat a game on stream today. If I can put up with this long enough. We'll see. It's so funny to me that they clearly designed this for the Master System, or the Game Gear, and then the Master System version was like an afterthought that was only released in Brazil, by the way. Which is so funny. Just the fact that like all the like title screen or title cards in between levels is like for the Game Gear resolution, but then the levels are Master System quality. I really should have, now that I'm thinking about it, to get the full Sonic Blast experience, we probably should have played the Game Gear version, because it's even more awful because you can only see like 50% of the screen. It's bad. It's so bad. Eh. Also, I forget what the... Like the... Oh, that's real nice. Thanks. Like, even on the Master System version, that is hard to see coming. I could only imagine what it would be like on the Game Gear. Ironically, I actually remember this level from the one time I played this. Oh, and I also remember this hot garbage. Oh, dang. I don't think I actually have any control over this. I think it just does, yeah, it just does what it wants to do. Okay, yeah, that's... Okay, well, we did all right. There's that. Can we add Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko to the list? Yes. If it is on here, which I don't know it is, I only have like 90 PlayStation games, and that might not be one of them. That's something I want to fix in the near future, now that we're on the Steam Deck and not the RetroPie. I could add a lot more ROMs and emulators and stuff. I just haven't had the chance to do it yet because of the holidays and all that stuff. Because it was a busy week last week. What with the Thanksgiving into Turkey and the gobble gobbles and such. Yeah. I always liked how Sonic games on 8-bit hardware, like they can't have, wherever there's rings, they have to have like a black space behind it because they can't have overlapping sprites. It's so nice. There was a button up there, but I don't know what it did. Honestly, watching your videos got me into collecting for Sega consoles. Also, AVGN got me into retro games as a whole. I think AVGN got... There's some weird Japanese stuff right here that just caught me off guard. All right. Honestly, I think AVGN got a lot of people into retro games. I'm one of them. Absolutely. I got out... The retro gaming scene, like, really got hot, like, the year I graduated, which was, like, 2008. And I think that was, like, right around the time that the AVGN and ScrewAttack.com and, like, Brental Floss and, like, Talking Classics and all those classic, like, retro gaming shows got started. And, yeah, I dove into that stuff hardcore. And I was already a little into retro games because I grew up with, like, the Sega Genesis and stuff. And I had just gotten a Super Nintendo for the first time, like, a year before that, and was finally diving into that system for the first time. And then, yeah, after watching, like, AVGN and Screw Attack and shows like that, I really got into it, so definitely feel you there, brother. Oh, Gex 3 is on the N64 too. That's right. We probably have it then. We almost certainly have the N64 version, because I think I have the whole N64 library on disc ting. Pretty sure. Only ever played Enter the Gecko, though. I only ever really played the first Gex game on the 3DO, so you're in good company, I guess. For some reason, these levels remind me of the ones from the scrapped Extreme game. Speaking of which, what are your thoughts on it, if you mind me asking? I'm not too familiar with Sonic Extreme, mostly because I know that I think there's a... Excuse me, my nose itches. I think there is a leaked prototype of that game, right? Or at least somebody recreated it recently, which I haven't played. I definitely want to check into it, or check it out at some point. The most I'm familiar with that game is, like, the handful of, like, screenshots and the tech demo that was released, like, at E3, like, in the 90s, like, one of the first E3s. So I don't know a lot about it. I think it was really interesting, though, and I would have loved to see, like, what they actually would have, like, how they would have finished that game, but if I'm being honest, it probably wouldn't have been all that great. I think it might have been... It probably wouldn't have been a hit at the time, because... And I'm pretty sure the reason... It was developed for the Saturn, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure it was being developed for the Saturn, which was not doing so well in North America, and... So I think that was a big reason they canceled it, because, you know, Sonic's popular. What the fuck? Oh, that was probably a special stage. Oh, let's see if we can get that. Let's see what those look like. I'm predicting some hot garbage. Ow. So I'm thinking that was like an impetus for them canceling it, because Sonic's popular in Japan, but he's always been more popular in America and European countries. Get 50 rings. Oh, I remember these. These are awful. Boing, boing, boing. At least so far, so good. Okay. What is this? Oh, I gotta jump there. Ah, I see. Ugh. I think I prefer the special stages from Sonic 3D Blast. Those are at least fun. They're really easy, but yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I think if Sonic Extreme would have... I think if it would have come out, if they would have finished it, it probably would have gained, like, a cult following on the Saturn, but I don't think it would have been, like, the big hit that Sega was hoping it was going to be, which is probably why they canceled it. And maybe it was just a little too experimental for them. Like, you got to remember that, like, Sega's always been pretty experimental, but not with Sonic. Sonic's always been their cash cow, or at least ever since the 90s, and they don't want to experiment with their cash cow all that much. At least they didn't at the time. And I feel like that's kind of like the same thing with like Game Freak and Nintendo, is like, I feel like Sonic Team wants to experiment and try new things, but Sega has them on such tight, like, development schedules, and they don't want them to step too far out of the Sonic brand because they don't want to alienate fans, so they get this weird middle ground where they experiment a little bit, enough to make the game different enough that it's, you know, marketable, but samey enough that it supposedly will appeal to diehard fans, but then it just kind of ends up pleasing no one, and then Sonic fans get pissed, and, the Sonic hype cycle starts up again. I kind of feel like Sonic Extreme would have been like an early version of that, where Sega wants them to experiment for marketing reasons, but not too much because, we still got to sell this at the end of the day. And there's that innovation thing I was talking about earlier with Sonic Frontiers would not exist if it wasn't for the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, trend of like that style of open world games being hot. Like there's no way in hell Sega would have felt comfortable like experimenting with an open world Sonic game if that weren't the case. Ironically, Sonic Frontiers chasing that trend seems to have worked in its favor because it's like the highest rated Sonic game in since Sonic Mania. Well, ignoring Sonic Mania, the last 10 years, since Generations. So, yeah. Thoughts on the Sega Dreamcast? How well does the Steam Deck handle Saturn emulation? I've heard, we'll come back to the Dreamcast thing in a second here, but I've heard that it handles Saturn emulation quite well, which is strange because nothing handles Saturn emulation well from what I've heard. So that's another thing I really want to experiment with, is I do have a Saturn emulator on here. I don't have any ROMs for it yet. I got to get them and stuff, so yeah. But that would be really cool if we could play some Nights into Dreams or some a Stall or Panzer Dragoon and 1, 2, and Saga. That'd be cool. And a bunch of other stuff. There's so much cool stuff on the Saturn, and that's a system I really got to dive into more because there's just weird and wacky stuff. All right, thoughts on the Dreamcast. I wish Sega wouldn't have killed it so soon because I think it was... I don't know, I was just watching an episode of GameSack today where he was talking about, he mentioned a canceled game that was on, it was a Castlevania game. Castlevania, not Rebirth, Resurrections or something like that? I forget. They were making a castle... I think I should have died there because I hit the lava with 0 rings, but okay. It was a Castlevania game that was being developed by Konami from the ground up for the Sega Saturn, and they canceled it pretty late in development, actually, because Sega just decided they were going to shit-can the Saturn after only 2 years on the market. Or not the Saturn, the Dreamcast. After 2 years on the market. And that really sucks because it looks so cool and so interesting. It was kind of like the Castlevania games that are on the N64, but a lot more polished and a lot more action oriented and less interesting. Less I don't know, slow and exploration based, I guess. But yeah, they canceled it, and then apparently it was canceled on the same day that Sony announced the PlayStation 2, so Konami canceled this game because they're like, well, the Dreamcast isn't going to be around by the time this game is finished. And Sony just announced this game, or announced this system that is leagues better than what this game is, the kind of graphics this game has. So let's just cancel it and then put everybody to work on Castlevania games for the PlayStation 2. So I don't know. I feel like it's both good and bad things, the Dreamcast, because on the one hand, it had the sinking ship effect, which is every developer working for Sega at the time kind of saw the writing on the wall even before Sega officially announced it. Everybody kind of knew that the Dreamcast was not doing so well and it wasn't going to be around much longer. And rather than try to make games that, would sell and, help extend the life cycle of that, everybody just kind of did this weird experimentation stuff and fuck it, the ship's going down anyway, we might as well make some interesting stuff while we're here. And I feel like that's how we got crazy games like Jet Set Radio and Samba de Amigo, Drill Dozer, and or Space Channel 5. all these weird experimental games that, like, you know, probably wouldn't exist if the Dreamcast was doing well, because I think developers would have been too afraid to experiment for fear of, you know, their game not selling. But they kind of already knew that their games weren't selling, but they were all these developers were still under contract with Sega to develop for this thing, so they just kind of took it as like an excuse to make whatever the hell they wanted. And I think that is kind of why the Dreamcast has such a loyal cult following after all these years, just because, you know, so many people fell in love with these weird and wacky games that got made in this environment of a sinking ship. That, to me, is the most interesting thing about the Dreamcast, and that's I definitely have a lot more experience with the Dreamcast than I do with the Saturn, but I don't know, the Dreamcast just seems like a better version of the Sega Saturn, at least in terms of, like, experimental stuff, because it didn't have as much of the we have to compete sort of thing. We have to compete on the market sort of thing that I felt like was holding a lot of Sega Saturn experimentation back. Which is ironically what made the Sega Genesis so popular, was Sega allowing their developers and third-party developers to experiment wildly and just to distinguish themselves from Nintendo. But by the time the Saturn rolled around, they were less willing to do that because they had a brand to protect. Sega's an interesting company like that. Okay, this is something. I do not remember this boss. Ah! I hate how he just, like, glitches out of existence and then, like, respawns elsewhere. How do I do this? Okay, wow, you gotta be really accurate there. Oh, okay, yep. Okay, yeah. This game's great. I don't know why everybody hates it. It's so great. Ugh. Doink. There we go. Come on. Come on. Oh, shit. God, you gotta be really accurate there. Nope. There we go. His hitbox is like 8 or 9 pixels above where his sprite ends. That is ridiculous. And I messed it up again. Oh, God. God, it was such a good design choice for, like, all the 8-bit Sonic games to not have you lose all your rings when you take a hit and only lose 10 at a time. Oh, God. There we go. Yeah, Jesus. It's so hard to hit him because his... Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. We're gonna use a save state here. We're gonna use a save state here. All right. Let's do it. Yep, see? Yep. Oh, my God. There we go. Come on. Like, what? One more hit? One more hit? Oh. God! There we go. We're doing it, guys. We're going to make it. Yay! We've done it. Huzzah. Same here, but now since owning it, it has a lot of games, and also the whole homebrew for it is amazing, and seeing old online games being playable again. Yeah, that's what's nice about the Dreamcast being, oh, Dreamcast crashed so LJN could die. Nice. That's what's nice about, like, the Dreamcast fandom is, like, there's such a love for that system that people are willing to, like, you know, make sure, like, Phantasy Star Online works on there and, you know, keep games like that alive and stuff like that. Hey, what's up, Naris? How you doing? Ain't seen you around in a while. Yeah, I'm slowly crawling my way out of the grave. It's been a while. Good to see you. It's been a while. Thanks for joining us today on this game-hopping adventure. We're currently playing Sonic Blast, the best Sonic game. We're going to switch to some Streets of Rage 2 here in a couple minutes after I have a certified seltzer moment here. Yeah. Death Crimson would be an interesting game to play here. I want to see people's reaction to it. I don't know what that is. Oh, I'm guessing it's a Saturn game since you brought up the Saturn earlier. Death Crimson. All right. I'm going to make a separate list here because if I have some time this week, I will add some Saturn ROMs to this thing so we can play. Let's just put Saturn and Death Crimson. I mean, that sounds badass. And yeah, I'd like to see what my reaction is to that. Sounds good. Yes, suffer for our entertainment. Oh God, no, I am suffering with my certified seltzer here. Yeah, I'm hoping to upload more often. I got, I don't know, probably like 6 videos I'm working on right now. And no idea when they'll be done. My goal next year is to upload every other week. Like, it's kind of what I'm shooting for. I've been pretty good the last quarter of the year here. I've managed to get a video out every single month. And I'm on track to do that again, which is nice. I would like to increase that to bi-weekly schedule. I feel like I can do that now that I'm back in the swing of things without overworking myself. Not having like a dedicated upload day like I used to in the past has definitely helped. Oh God, I hate when games do shit like this. No. Yeah, Sonic's face says it all right there. Okay. In fact, yeah, I think we're going to hop to a different game here. We're going to come back to this next week, I think. We're going to continue our Sonic Blast adventure next week. Let's get a save state there. And we're going to hop to some Streets of Rage 2, which is a, not as good as Sonic Blast, if we're being honest here. But I'm just kidding. That game is so much better. I'm interested in playing Streets of Rage 2 because I'm much more familiar with the first game. Definitely played it a few times, but there's that. Let's do, let's see. We need to go to DS's. To streets. Ooh, how about Sesame Street? I saw Sesame Street in there somewhere. Nice. Sesame Street Counting Cafe. You know what? We're gonna play that first. Why not? Let's see if it's got count the numbers on it. It's gonna be a good time. Oh my God, this is a fucking EA game. Holy shit. EA Kids. Children's Television Workshop. Congratulations. What's up, Grover? Doop doop. CTW. The Counting Cafe is closed. Why isn't it the count? Wait, what? Am I playing? Oh, okay. That was a demo. Gotcha. Breakfast! Oh, God.
Waiter.
I like how there's just a picture of Elmo on the wall. Okay.
I'd like 2 oranges.
2 oranges. Okay, we're gonna go get 2 oranges. Yeah, Streets of Rage 2 looks a little different than I remember. Oh, did I walk past 2 oranges? There's 2. Oh, I see. I can jump. All right. I'm forgetting how to do a roundhouse kick. That's something you could do in Streets of Rage 2, right? Oh, Cookie Monster. How you doing? There's 3 oranges. Oh, I see. There's numbers 8, 0, 1. Did I run out? Here's your 2 oranges, sir. Ta-da! Grand Theft Auto Sesame Street would be pretty awesome, though. Yeah, Sesame Streets of Rage. I didn't even think of that. All right, we want 2 oranges. Come on, Blue Elmo, you can do it. Maybe I just need to grab? Oh, okay, that's how it works. I was expecting to pick up all 3. You know, it's always encouraging when you turn on a game made for 5-year-olds and you can't figure out how to play it. All right. Game of the Year, Street of Sesame 2, Electric Boogaloo featuring Knuckles. I imagine there's a mod that exists already. Probably. Yay! We got a star. All right, let's do this. I'm starting to get the hang of Streets of Rage 2 here, or Streets of Sesame here. Sesame Streets of Rage. Sesame Streets of Rage is something I need in my life.
Waiter, I'm hungry. Now I'd like 1 orange and 2 muffins.
2 muffins. All right. All right. I'm liking that bass there. Also, Blue Elmo is really digging that stove on his feet. Come on. Gotta get orange. Boing. Did I go past the muffins? Ah, I see. Okay. Where's the muffins? I didn't see muffins. Maybe I need to open the fridge for muffins, or oh, never mind. They're on the shelf. The best place to store muffins, top shelf. Gotcha. There we go. Nice.
1 orange.
Honestly, this is funny and amazing. Reminded of them's fighting herds now. Yeah, I actually played that game, or demoed that game when it was an MLP game.
Here you go.
For so I guess I was a brony back in the day. I watched the show not realizing that bronies were a thing until after the brony hype was already dying down. My friend's like, "Oh, you're a brony." I'm like, "What the fuck's a brony?" "Oh, it's an adult man who likes that My Little Pony show." And I'm just like, "I just like cartoons, my dude, but okay."
Cookies.
I used to watch the old school My Little Pony show too when I was a kid because I like girly stuff. You know, that's fine. What are those? A cheeseburger? Oh damn! This game's a freaking banging soundtrack. All right, we need 1, 2, 3. We need tomato. Did I walk past the cookies? Oh yeah, I walked past the cookies. I like how you don't need to be able to count to do this, just match the pictures. That's a good point. That's really good for my dyslexia. I am very visually oriented. Hopefully oh, okay. You don't have to get them in that order, hopefully.
1 apple.
Oh, that's an apple, not a tomato. Gotcha.
2 cookies and 3
Why isn't the count?
That's right.
Like, I know, why isn't the count part of this? Like, it's a counting game. And you don't have count the numbers?
Here you go.
Just some rando freaking dude with a butt hat on? Okay. Well, I think we've seen all we're going to see with dinner. You know, no, we're going to see it through. We got, what, 2 more?
Waiter,
We got 2 more levels of this? Yeah.
I'd like 3
Oh, yeah.
bananas,
3 bananas.
2 steaks, and 1
Yeah, hack it for us so I could play it. Oh, that'd be fun. Well, I had the Elmo Numbers game on N64. I also have that one. I know what you're talking about. One of the only games the ESRB ever rated a C for children 3 to 6, I think. I believe you are correct. All right, we need... Oh, dang. This difficulty spike, guys. Holy shit. The bananas aren't in a bunch. Oh, let's get a pie. Slice. Then we need 1, 2 more. There we go. Okay. You almost threw me for a loop there with that solo banana, but not today, Sesame Street. Not today. What are those supposed to be? Sushi?
3 bananas.
Still sort of writing stories for that one, so you're not alone. Fandom's got a little toxic though, but oh, you're so right for the MLP stuff. Cool.
Thank you.
But them's fighting herds is nice. One of the few games that has reindeer to look like an actual reindeer. Pet peeve. Nice. Classic. So low-key Stuart Copeland banger. Oh God, that would be amazing if like I come to find out Stuart Copeland did the soundtrack for this. I mean, the soundtrack's not like anything special, but it's much better than you would expect for a game of this caliber.
2 bananas,
2 bananas,
2 cookies,
2 cookies,
and 2 pies.
2 pies. Now, you're confusing me there because that's 2 pie slices. But you said 2 pies. So which is it, brother? Just that bass in the background. Dang. Let's pick up this solo banana here. We're gonna beat this level. It's gonna be grand. Gonna be grand. One more banana. That's a nice smorgasbord of delicious treats right there. Ta-da! The Count would have turned this into a kiddie horror game, though. Yeah, but the Count's the greatest. I like the Count. Objectively the best Sesame Street character. Come on.
2 pies. That's
We did it. All right, what do we get? What's next? Just stuff in his face there. All right. Thank God you missed Brony Culture, even though it was a good show. I only watched the first episode of Friendship is Magic because of them. Yeah, well, my mom had a daycare, like, right around the time that the first season came out. And I remember she turned it on one day for, like, the kids. And I walked in, I'm like, holy crap, this is like a new My Little Pony show. And I just remember really liking the animation. What am I doing out here? What the frick? Okay. Oh, this is the boss level, right. Gotcha. And I'm just like, hey, this show's actually pretty good. And then, like, I had a friend in college. My now partner, Ryan, was in college at the time. And he got into the show, too. Also not knowing about the Brony Culture thing. And then suddenly it was just everywhere. It was, like, really strange. Oh, the monkey ran off with my star. Probably while I was talking about My Little Pony and not paying attention. That makes sense. All right. I believe we have beaten this game. What a wondrous game it was. Hey, it's Ernie. I almost said Bert. It's Ernie. What's up, Ernie? Wait, now I'm playing as Ernie?
Waiter.
Wait, why is... Oh. Okay. Well, we're going to move on to actual Streets of Rage now. I think y'all got the gist of whatever the name of this game is. Sesame Streets of Rage. So that's Sesame Streets of Rage. Let's go to actual Streets of Rage. Come on, get down there. There we go. So many games. Oh, Subterraria or Terrania. That's a really underrated game. I like that game. Streets of Rage 2. That's the wrong button. Streets of Rage 2. What sort of person gets hungry and hungrier as the day progresses after each meal? I think the sequel for this game might involve tapeworm removal. Sesame Street Doctor. Let's remove the tapeworm. Elmo will do it. Streets of Rage 2. I just realized it didn't actually say Streets of Rage 1 in my list. It only said 2 and 3, which means that the first game is probably labeled as Bare Knuckle in this one. Let's just start there. Blaze, obviously. Shimagale. Oh, that frickin' Yuzo Koshiro banger of a music. Oh! Here's a great game that got turned even better just because of its soundtrack. Like, oh. Hey, that's 2 weeks in a row we got to play a beat 'em up on stream. Nice. Last week was Sonic Blast Man 2, which was never played it before, but that was really good. I want to play more of that. I do prefer me some Streets of Rage, though. Come here, come here, come here. Yeah, that's what I want. Ugh. And I don't know why I don't play the second game more often. This is probably better than the first game. Am I right? Am I alone in that? I've definitely played the first game a lot more than this, but mostly because I had the first game as a kid, and I didn't have this one as a kid. Oh no, he threw me. Get out of here. Get out of here. My thing about Brony is that I was there during the hype during season 3, but just went downhill, and the reason why I watch is because the creator also made Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home. Yeah. Oh, I know. Lauren Faust did like such a great job, like in later seasons of, excuse me, Powerpuff Girls. Like after Craig McCracken left, like people don't give her enough credit for that. Honestly, the later seasons of Powerpuff Girls were not as good as the first few seasons, but still quite good. And I think a lot of like, I don't know, I'm coming to find out because I've recently fallen back in love with Powerpuff Girls after not watching it since I was a kid. And I'm finding out that there's kind of a lot of toxicity in the Powerpuff Girls community. And a lot of people don't really have a lot of fondness for Lauren Faust's work. Which is unfortunate because I think she did a great job spearheading that. Yeah, and then to go back, clearly Craig McCracken respects the crap out of her because he hired her for Foster's Home after, and I think she did the same thing, right? Like he was in charge of the first couple seasons, and then she took over for the later couple seasons. I think that's how it went. I never really got into that one myself. I don't think she worked on Wander Over Yonder, though, because I'm pretty sure she was doing the whole pony thing by that time. Wander Over Yonder is such a great show, though. Maybe they'll have her back for the second reboot of the Powerpuff Girls that is apparently being worked on right now. Because Craig McCracken is back with Cartoon Network, and he is apparently making another Powerpuff Girls show. Which I'm down with. That sounds great. There we go. Get knifed. Get knifed, son. Now, there's a way to throw the knife, right? I forgot. Maybe not. Let's just juggle some knives on the floor here. Why not? There we go. Come on. There we go. I freaking love Streets of Rage 4 especially. I never played 4. That was the one that they just released like a year or two ago, right? I think so. I gotta play that. It looks really good. I do love me some Streets of Rage. I'm more of a Golden Axe guy, as I've said, but Streets of Rage is also top tier beat 'em up. Ah, shit. I'm much better at Golden Axe. Oh, I didn't want to let go of you, but it seemed to work out. Whoa. Also, she got tossed on the sideline after Season 4 by Hasbro. You can tell how the story... Yes, I agree. I was just repeating some themes. Yeah, I stopped watching Friendship is Magic after Season 3, I think. Which is probably... because there's a noticeable dip in quality after Season 3, and it's probably because Lauren Faust left. I think Season 2 was the best overall. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely agree. They started treading a lot of the same territory after Season 3, and I'm like, okay, I get it. I've had my fill. By that time, I was already moving on to like other shows. I think I got into, like I said, Wander Over Yonder, like right around that time, and that was just a much better show overall. And so it's hard to get excited about Friendship is Magic after Season 3, and I haven't gone back and watched it. I should probably do that. It's been many years. Many years, he says. Off topic, what do you know about Bakugan? I've heard of it. That's about it. I know that there is a Bakugan game made by Treasure for the Nintendo DS, I think. Now I might be talking out of turn. I don't know. So yeah, I clearly don't know shit about Bakugan. That's one of them their Pokemon wannabes, right? I'm sure it's a lot more than that, but that was always my impression of it. That was kind of how I felt about Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, my friend Matt asked me the other day, he showed me a meme that was like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Meme, and I just went straight over my head because I never got into Yu-Gi-Oh! He's just like, oh, you never watched Yu-Gi-Oh? And I'm like, no, I kind of like, I was big into Pokemon, and I kind of just assumed it was a Pokemon ripoff, so I never got into it. That was kind of how I felt about Bakugan, although it's probably nothing of the sort. Oh, God. Just banging out to the soundtrack here. I don't even have to do any work. I could just shut up and let the soundtrack play, and I think everybody would be happy. I'm not gonna. I'll do my streamer due diligence. This guy kind of looks like a buff Freddie Mercury. I'm okay with that. His name's Barbon. Get out of here, Barbon. I'm horrible with names. So does anyone here know how to do sprite replacement ROM hack? Because I want to practice pixel art animation with Sesame Streets of Rage. It's funny you should mention that. I briefly looked into like Sega Genesis hacks and stuff. Because I would like to develop a Sega Genesis game someday, but I figured the easiest place to start would be like ROM hacks. But after some research, it kind of led me to believe that it's a lot more complicated than, like, you know, replacing stuff in modern games. Go figure. Who'd have thunk it? I'm sure it's a lot easier than it looks, but it seems like there's a lot of a rather large learning curve for, like, Genesis ROM hacking. And I kind of lost interest after that. So, hopefully you'll have better luck than I do, Tanish, but good luck with that. I would love to play some Sesame Streets of Rage. That'd be a dope. The name, like, Sesame Streets of Rage is, like, the best. That just makes me so happy. There we go. I actually have that game. It was trash. Oh, the Treasure Bakugan game? It wasn't trash. Yeah, okay. It was trash. Yeah, Treasure's kind of hit or miss. They're always interesting, though. That's what I love about Treasure. Even when they have, like, some weird thing. Like, I think they made a Bleach game on the Wii as well. Maybe it was on the DS. I forget. But, yeah. I think it was, like, Shattered Soul or something like that. I don't know whatever happened to Treasure. I looked up recently to see if they were still around, and like the company still exists, but they haven't like released a game in like 10 years or better. And it makes me wonder like what they're even up to these days. Okay, Mr. Dirt Bike guy, just fuck off. Ow! Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah? What up? Ah, I got a lead pipe. Ow. Now I don't have a lead pipe. Come on. There we go. Pile driver, baby. Oh, that's not what I want to do. That's what I want to do. There we go. Denise, you got this. Yep. Waco's got you. Got you back there. Yes, Tanish, if you end up creating a ROM hack of Streets of Rage with Sesame Street characters, I will play the shit out of that on stream. That sounds so fun. I'm so down. Is the Paint Huff on here? Maybe he'll help you out with the artwork. Huh? See? I may not want help with artwork, but let's get the community together and make a fantastic game of Sesame Streets of Rage. That's what we need to do. We just need to gather together as a community and make some crazy shit. Get some ROM hacking and stuff like that. That would be really fun. Get back. Get up there. Get up there. Ow, son of a bitch. I dug it out. The Bakugan game I have here is by Activision Now Pro. Okay, I must be thinking of a different anime Pokemon ripoff type thing made by Treasure. It's like one of the last games they ever released. Thought it was Bakugan, but it must not be. Eh. If you double tap on the D-pad and I think you're A or B, you get a better attack. I thought so, but there we go. Well, I think you also, yeah, hitting A and B together does the same thing as the double tap. That's what I was doing instead. Both work well. I was going by Golden Axe controls. Yeah, there's that too. Oh, actually. No. Yeah, double tap and... Oh, maybe it is different. Okay. Ow. Oh, right when I was about to eat some turkey, too. Oh, yeah, that does do something different. Ah, son of a bitch. Still can't hit him. That's not fair. You got a jetpack. Oh, come on. Come on! Son of a bitch. Oh, okay, bye. Ow! Oh, come on. I'm really great at this. So all the goons have names of this. Austin Powers would be proud. Nice. There, finally. Jesus. Oh, come on. God, this guy sucks. Come on. No! You son of a bitch. Just like lining yourself up like vertically with them is a pain in the ass. Ah, our name is Ah. I'm willing to bet Ah is the most used like arcade name ever. Right? It's gotta be. Come on. Oh man, every time I like line myself up with him, he grabs me. Shows how often I play this game. He's gonna do it again. There it is, my go-to attack. Oh, yeah, this. Yeah, if I could actually, like, land a hit with it. Oh! This guy sucks. And now he's gone. This is great. This is great. Fuck off. God! Man, I suck at this guy. Fuck! Trying jump attacks. Jump kick. Jump punch. Jump out. Nope. Backwards jump kick. Do the thing. Spin attack. Grab. Fuck. There we go. Finally. Jesus. I use who's go-to attack right there. Also, stage 2 boss either kills my run or I pass it with flying color. Well, at least I don't feel so well now. Treasure made all 3 Bleach games, all on DS. Ah, you're underestimating the power of poo. Poo. Underestimating the power of poo. Certified seltzer moment. Hell yeah. We'll try Streets of Rage 2. Oh, for Sesame Streets of Rage? Nice. Ooh, love that. Love that parallax scrolling. So nice. So pretty. This guy's name is Z. Ow. This guy's name is Fog. There we go. Checked out Bleach's Revival? Bleach's Revival? Like the anime? No, I haven't. I was never a big fan of the... Well, I shouldn't say that. The first couple seasons of Bleach I was really into, but then it kind of lost me. It kind of fell into that same trap that like Naruto fell into, where it was just like there'd be like 3 episodes of important stuff and then it would be nothing but filler for 20 episodes, or at least what felt like filler. That just, nothing turns me off of an anime faster than filler. And I know you can look up like which episodes to skip and stuff like that, but I don't like doing that. I don't like putting in work to learn like what I should and shouldn't watch when it comes to anime, like, or anything for that matter. I just want to like turn on a show. If I got to do homework in order to enjoy the show, it's not enjoyable anymore. Ugh. So I don't know, probably won't check out the Bleach Revival. I didn't care enough about the original show to... I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. There's probably a reboot of the show. That sounds like a thing that would exist. Kind of not into battle... Well, let me phrase that. I'm not as into battle shonen manga or anime as I was when I was younger. The one exception would be like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because that, I feel like that's kind of its own thing. And I mean, it's just so weird and wacky and so creative, and I can't get enough of JoJo. But any other like battle manga or anime like just doesn't really do it for me anymore. That's kind of why I liked One Punch Man, at least the first season, because it made fun of that and, you know, was like such a great satire of that style of anime. But then season 2 just sort of straight up became that kind of anime, which is why season 2 sucks balls. Yeah, the filler got bad. The manga honestly started to drag hard toward the end. That's what I've heard. They're animating the 1,000-year Blood War arc. I don't even know what that is. Well, gotta head out. Enjoy your evening, Noah. Thanks for coming out there, Wakoza. I appreciate it. Hope to see you next week. We'll be around. Ah, sorry we didn't get to Gex before you left. Dang. It'll be in the... Well, actually, we got like 3 other games ahead of it. We might not even get to it today. It might be what we start with next week. Some good old Gex. Oh, there's a 1-up. That's the first one I've seen. Come on, pick up that 1-up. No, not the kunai. I wanted the frickin'... There we go. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, there we go. Come on, get up there. Yeah, there's my nose itching again. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Hey-yo, what's up, Fungi Arts? How you doing? Yeah, I'm with you. Shonen is very easy to do poorly. The filler in Naruto prevents me from going back to it. Yeah, outside of the Chunin exams and hunting Sasuke arcs. I agree. I was really into Naruto, except for all the filler. It's kind of why, and I think I said that like a few weeks ago, like I never got into Shippuden just because even the main stuff felt like filler to me. Which is kind of sad because they were like building up like the Akatsuki stuff so early in like the original, and it was so mysterious, but then they started like, you know, doing that stuff in Shippuden, and it was just boring to me. It was just long stretches where like nothing happened. I couldn't take it no more. I recognize that I grew out of it. I was not the target audience anymore. I would kind of like to go back and watch the original series though, just for like you said, like the Chunin exams and finding Sasuke arcs. Those were definitely the highlights of the show. A lot of fun. That final fight with Naruto and Sasuke, like, was so good. And then they followed up with like 60 episodes of filler after that, which is great. From what I've heard about One Punch Man, the guy doing the manga has taken in a totally different direction from the original webcomic. Perhaps the first recorded instance of a manga having filler. Yeah? That's interesting. That's so strange, though, because that... I don't know. Maybe... Alright, hear me out here. We're gonna have a certified seltzer moment here. Okay. Hear me out. Maybe the guy who creates One Punch Man and Mob Psycho 100, is kind of like Scott Cawthon, the guy who created Five Nights at Freddy's. This really weird, like, developer type that wants to create, like, weird experimental stuff, but then randomly one day hits it big with one of his weird experiments. And then, rather than, you know, try to keep making, like, that weird experiment, he recognizes that it's no longer his property and kind of gives it up over to the fans sort of way and uses it as a way to create revenue for himself while also still making weird experimental shit on the side. Maybe. I don't know. Scott Cawthon is, you know, like the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, but he also just makes all these weird little indie games on the side, and like the original Five Nights at Freddy's was just one of those, but then, you know, that became such a massive, like, cultural phenomenon. And I just kind of feel like he recognized that it's never going to go back to just being a weird experimental thing. So might as well cash in, honestly. Cash in on what you can and then use it to support your other work. And maybe that's what One is doing with One Punch Man, is like, you know, he recognizes that, oop, I fucked up. There we go. Yeah. Recognizes that, you know, it's a property now. It's a franchise that's, regardless of what he does, it's going to make money. So maybe he's not... Oh, I somehow changed the skate. Okay. I guess what I'm ultimately getting at there is it's very clear that he cares more about Mob Psycho 100 than he does about One Punch Man, because Mob Psycho 100 is just a much better property and has much better characters and storytelling than One Punch Man does. So, I don't know. Maybe he's kind of phoning it in with One Punch Man because it turned into something that he didn't want it to be. Or maybe he just wanted to make that original webcomic and leave it at that and never wanted it to be anything more than that. So now he's just kind of phoning it in. I don't know. Mob Psycho 100's great. That's all I could say there. I'm pretty excited. I don't think they're all out yet, but Mob Psycho 100 Season 3 is airing right now. And as soon as the whole season's out, I'm gonna watch the shit out of that, because I really love the first two seasons. Ugh, come on. I don't like a skate. Also, this weird frickin', like, H.R. Giger shit in the background suddenly. Like, what the fuck? I completely forgot about this. What the hell happened there? Oh. I hit him so hard the sound cut out. Nice. I'm gonna head off for the night. Be well, everyone. That's an order. Bye, Raichu is down. Thanks for coming out. Bye. I've bought myself Virtua Racing. Talk about old arcade games. They get pretty quick addicting. Yeah, I do really like Virtua Racing. Actually, oh, we should see if that's on here. Probably is. Oh, sweet, Batman Ninja. Nice. Ryuhin. I'm sorry, it just the hard left turn into, like, Xenomorph land just kind of keeps throwing me for a loop here. Oh, come on, I need that wall face hugger chicken. That's what I need. There's something about that rough 3D look you like. Oh, and Virtua Racing. Yeah, it's got a charm to it. I think Virtua Fighter has that same charm. It's really rough, and it should be ugly as sin, but I don't know. It kind of just has like a nice aesthetic to it. I am getting my ass kicked so hard. Oh, hey, you can do some breakdancing. Okay, well, yeah, how did I... Okay, now I can't do the breakdance move when I want to do the breakdance move. Cool. I don't think we're going to be finishing this one. I'm probably going to die. Madra did nothing wrong. I don't know who that... Madara. I'm not big in the community, and I'm way behind. I'm kind of just playing with... not looking at the screen now. Okay. I'm not big in the community. I was way behind the manga, but from what I've heard, it gets rather political in all the worst ways. Which shows that Shippuden? Or One Punch Man? Hope you're not talking about Mob Psycho 100. That would be really off-putting if it suddenly got political. I don't know how you'd even make that political. I suppose there's always a way, though. Ah, damn. I think that's our last life, right? That's okay. We're going to hop to some Mega Man X4 next, which I've never played, so it's probably going to go very well. Let's catch up in the chat here. I still feel bad about Scott Cawthon getting driven out of FNAF just because he donated money to a certain political candidate. Oh, that's what you're talking about, being political, maybe. It's like, guys, who cares? He's a game developer. I don't care what he thinks. Yeah, I didn't even know that, to be honest, and I really don't care. Come on. Like, this idea of... Why can't I, What the frick? Why can't I go back to Emulation Station? Why is my shit breaking today? What the frickin'... Okay. Oop. Beat the shit out of the microphone. What the frick? I can't go back to Emulation Station. No. This is not cool, my guys. Oh, yes. I don't know. I kind of hate this this whole thing about, like, you know, somebody's political views that are not in their work, defining their work. It's one thing if, like, you know, a creator uses their work as, like, a platform for their political ideology. That I don't like either. But if it's completely separate, like, I don't know, it's their personal life. I kind of understand it, but why people would find it distasteful, but the whole, like, canceling somebody and ousting them from their own work because of that, like, I don't know. It's a messy situation. I don't really like it. I also need to figure out how the fuck to get back to... Huh. That's so weird. I can't go back. Okay, well, I guess we'll... Steam Deck, you are failing me today, making me exit Emulation Station every 5 minutes. I don't like it. Also, there's a Kirby manga where the puffball gets drunk. I own a copy. It's great. Nice. I'm going to be on this for a while, but it looks like Sesame Streets of Rage is already done. What? It almost looks like they reused sprites from a Mega Man hack. That's amazing. Oh, man. We can make our own ROM hack just for me. Oh, thanks, guys. Oh, I was talking about One Punch Man, but that's all hearsay. Oh, I see. I'm still going to try to bring up the fun fact of the... Oh, I'm still going to try to bring up the fun fact of the music in Streets of Rage. Also, Yuzo, the producer of Streets of Rage series, music producer of Streets of Rage series, was also a DJ in the early 90s. That tracks. And it's why the music sounds sometimes less. Okay. Now my dyslexia is struggling with it. But he would also DJ music from his games in the early 90s. That would be so awesome to, like, go to a club and, like, Yuzo Koshiro's just, like, banging Streets of Rage 2 soundtrack. That'd be so cool. Made a Discord for Sesame Streets of Rage. Hell yeah. Everybody who's on Discord, not me, hop on that. Good job, Tanish. Sega Ages versions is the best from Virtual Racing. There's zero pop-in, and it's so sharp. And you can adjust the gamma level on the title screen. Nice. Yeah, the Sega Ages versions of like anything are usually the definitive version of games. They still have the source code for the original, but it's one of the best versions. Nice. Yeah, I kept hitting start. Okay, if start select don't work, which it didn't. Steam emulation station, go to switch windows and X to close the window of the game. Okay, Steam emulation station, go to switch windows. I'll try that next time it messes up. Actually, let's try it now. Oh, that's not what I wanted. We're going to start a game. I'm going to test your thing here just so I get the feel for it. Let's get some... Sure, let's put Sonic Blast back on while I test this. And, you know, there's certified seltzer moment anyway. Yeah, I never had the emulation station problems on the RetroPie before, but ever since moving to the Steam Deck, it's been a little finicky for me. I've definitely had controller issues, too. I'm playing with my PS4 controller hooked up via USB because I kept having Bluetooth issues where emulation station would disconnect from my controller through Bluetooth, but it would connect to the standard Steam Deck controls, and I'd have to like do the whole like hit this menu and go up to rearrange controller order, and it was a pain in the ass and it didn't always work. So there's that. Okay, we're gonna try Steam button, emulation station, switch windows. Okay, emulation station. Now do I hit start or back? Nope, that didn't work. Switch windows. Close window, maybe. Close window. Okay. All right, good to know. Thank you for that, Jimbo. I appreciate it. While there is footage of his DJ sets in the 90s on YouTube, it's one of the coolest things to listen to and watch because it's also his early alt songs. Alt takes of his songs. Nice. I'm going to look that up. That sounds awesome. Now what am I missing is... Now all you're missing is a steering wheel for Virtual Racer. Nice. Noah, is there an option to change from 50 to 60 hertz? Because, my God, that is slow. Are we on 50 hertz? I don't think so. I should be on... Unless I was playing a... Are you talking about on... Sonic Blast there, or it wasn't like that when we were playing Streets of Rage, right? Because that's just how Sonic Blast is. I hate to break it to you. That's just how that game is. Chad is making giving the Discord link very difficult. Yeah, probably because YouTube sucks, and it probably won't let you have the, probably won't let you post the link, because that's how YouTube is right now. Maybe I'll be a YouTube partner someday and I can control that. Sorry, it's a pain in the butt there, Tanish. I feel your pain. That's how fast the game runs. It runs like a trash can. It is a trash can. All right, what are we playing next? Mega Man X4. Let's see if I have that. Which I think it's on the PlayStation, right? PlayStation. Where are you at? PlayStation. Do we have a Mega Man X4? Oh, hey, look at that. I see Gex down here. We do have Gex 3 on the... Yeah, but Wako's not here anymore. We're going to save... Oh, that's more down the list anyway, so we'll play that next week. What am I looking for? Mega Man. Mega Man. I see some M's. LSD Dream Emulator. Great game. We don't have Mega Man. Okay, we're not playing Mega Man X4. Never mind. I don't have... Is that game on the Saturn? I don't have Saturn anyway. Earthworm Jim. That's what we're playing next. Earthworm Jim. Genesis version, obviously. Oh man, I haven't played Earthworm Jim in quite some time. Earthworm Jim USA. Comments with links automatically get deleted, which is such a pain. Yes, it sure is. Yeah. Tanish, if you want, you could, after we're done live streaming, comment on the VOD of this video. I'll probably have to approve it because the same thing happens when you have when you share links and comments on YouTube's, but at least I have control over that. So anybody that's interested in the Sesame Streets of Rage Discord, and can't find it, like if Tanish, if you want to post a link on the comment to the VOD of the stream, I'll make sure it gets posted. Or just email it to me. I'll make sure it gets posted. We'll figure it out. We're going to figure it out. And maybe after I'm a YouTube partner again someday, I have like another 1,500 hours of watch time before that happens again, I'll be able to control stuff like that. That would be nice. We'll see. Yeah, that's how the real PAL version of Sonic 1 would run. Yeah. Just type this in on YouTube. Type what on YouTube? I can't even post stuff on links. I tried that. I had that problem when I was setting up the what the hell's it called? The chat theme that's actually on the stream. I was noticing that like if I tried to share a link, even me, it wouldn't come up. So yeah. Sorry, YouTube sucks, everyone. It really does. I do have this engage with audience button. I can start a poll. I don't know. Stupid frickin' links. We're gonna jump into some... Yeah. Do it, Jim. Classic. I swear for some emulators there is something that switches PAL games from 60 to 50 automatically, but it doesn't matter anyways. It's on both NTSC and PAL. Trash. Yep, it is. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think most of my Genesis collection on here, I'm pretty sure is the US version, unless it's like one of the rare games that was a European exclusive. In which case, I have noticed those seem to run in, do seem to run automatically in 60 hertz, so I'm assuming the emulator I have does that automatically. Maybe not so for the Master System. That might be completely different. All right, what are the options for this? We got fire, we got whip, and we got jump. We got a normal joypad. Oh, I can't change it? Oh, I can change it. Fire, jump, whip. Yeah, that's what I want. There we go. So great. Now the question, which Sesame Street characters is which Streets of Rage characters? I vote Big Bird is Max. That just sounds right. Yes. I am a fan of Bert and Ernie, but you'd have to have like both of the... Ow. I'm gonna apologize right now, because I know I'm not very good at this game. God, get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. Oh, there's spikes there. No wonder. Nope, that's not how you do it. Sweet! Yeah, we're off to a great start. Oh, yeah. A video of Yuzo DJ set from the 90s. All you need to do is type these into YouTube and watch the video. Oh, yeah. I keep bringing it up where you can. Yoshiro. Yuzo Koshiro DJ Club. DJs in Tokyo Club. I will find it. I'm sure I'll find it. That sounds awesome. Why is the sequel more accessible from Earthworm Jim than the first one, by the way? Is it? I'm not quite sure. I've never been good at this game. Maybe that's just how it is, but... Yeah, ugh. I don't know. It's weird, because I rented this a lot as a kid. But I never could... Cow launched. Cow. There we go. Cow launched. Yay. I've just never been good at this game. Boingy, boingy. It's just got such a weird feel to it, too. Like, maybe that's what you're talking about with, like, the second game being more accessible. Like, I don't know. It's kind of... Controls are kind of floaty. And the jumps are weird. They're not really bad. They're just, like, so strange in comparison to, like, anything else. Also, how can I... Can I whip? No, I can't whip because that's my head. How do I get those? How do I get those? I want those. What about the Count? We gotta have the Count. I mean, the Count is like the best character in Sesame Street. Who would the Count replace, though? The Count is Axel and Elmo is Skate. We'll discuss it on Discord if you two will allow it. Who's gonna replace Blaze? Grover? Grover could replace Blaze. Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster. Blaze is Cookie Monster. That's my vote. Jesus. Okay, there we go. Yep, boing, boing, boing. Come on, get up there. Get up there. Oh, come on. Come on. Full disclosure, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's probably been like 15 years since I played this game last. It's been a while. Ow. Ow. Oh yeah, and then the weird climbing up this fucking thing. God. I mean, graphically though, like this game is so cool. Come on, get up there. Get up there. Just everything is like out of reach in this game. I don't like it. Fishbowl. Isn't that the final boss? Or is that the second game? Final boss is like a fish, right? I don't know. I don't think I've ever beaten this game. Oh, why did I think that was a collectible? It's not. I like how the collectible or the checkpoint is just continue. There's that. For sure, good times before the movie, before Screenwave, before... Oh, what did I miss here? The Count and Axel is... And Elmo is Skate. Ah, yes. I read that already. Man, AVGN used a lot Hood Classic on his early years, all the way before his movie. Hood Classic? Hood Classic OST? I don't know what that means. I mean, the first game is on stream, but I heard this version has problems, and on the Switch, I only find the second game, at least with Nintendo's trashy service. Is that the problem? Is it the Genesis version is screwed up? Maybe I should... You know what? We're going to test that theory. I'm going to hop to the Super Nintendo version. I've only ever played the Genesis... No, I wanted to go back. I've only ever played the Genesis version of this game. And I remember always having problems with it. Maybe it's just weird? Oh, let's try the Super Nintendo version. I'll see if it controls differently. Some E. Earthworm. Jim. Super Nintendo. Let's try. He has his moments for sure. Tiger, Game Boy accessories, Seaman, Big Rigs, Earthbound, and most recently of all, Doom. All good episodes. I hated the LJN 3-parter though. I used to like religiously watch AVGN. I stopped a few years ago, and then yeah, it's kind of just been here and there. I did hear that Doom video he released recently was really good though. I haven't checked it out because I don't watch a lot. I try to minimize my YouTube watching these days. All right, we're gonna try this. What I mean by Hood Classic OST is like iconic game soundtracks from like of Donkey Kong Country, Mario 64, etc. Oh, gotcha. Just okay. I'm hip to the lingo now. I'm getting it. Okay, we got fire, we got jump, we got whip, we got unused. Always great when you have an unused button. All right, let's see if this controls any differently here. My guess would be the reason that the AVGN doesn't use Hood Classic music anymore is because of copyright issues. Because early years, he didn't have to worry about that. So, Jesus. Didn't have to worry about that so much because it was all, like, I don't know, it was all on, like, YouTube and, or not on YouTube. It was, like, on game trailers and Screw Attack and not on YouTube. And before YouTube copyright stuff really went down the tubes. And I am noted, yeah, the controls are a little less floaty in this version, actually. They're actually now they're stiff. Weird. They might be better, though. Honestly, I think most of this game's problem just comes down to, like, the design. Like how the hell do I get those? Like, I'm pushing buttons, so you can't, like, just pull yourself up and jump. I feel like there's, like, some secret shit you gotta know about this game in order to be good at it. Or maybe, no, I can't go up those tires. That's the other thing, too, is, like, I was bouncing up tires that looked like they were in the backdrop earlier, and now these tires look identical, but they're behind me, so I can't jump up them. I don't know. It's a weird game. I think the Doom one was very basic because he already reviewed almost all the games before, except I think the GBA port in the Sega Saturn version. Yeah, we were talking AVGN using retro game music in his video. He used the Genesis Earthworm Jim music a lot. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. So what do your viewers say? Fungi Arts. No, man, the Steam port. It's not the Genesis version itself. Oh, I see. The Super Nintendo version, just playing them back to back, it definitely is different in terms of controls. It feels stiffer, but I don't think it's any better. Maybe I just don't like this game. Maybe that's what it comes down to. Like, it's, I don't know, like, the design of it is just so bizarre to me. I do kind of like the lighting effects in the background of this in the Super Nintendo version, though. That's nice. I'm honestly surprised that Earthworm Jim was as popular as it was on the 16-bit system, just because of how weird it is. And I don't just mean the fact that you're an earthworm in a robotic suit or whatever it is, a superpowered suit, but just like the core design, and it's hard to see where you can and can't go, and the animation is genuinely great, though. I do love it. It is quite good. And now I want to go down. There we go. There we go. Now I can bounce up the tires, and I can climb up here. I think I'm starting to get a feel for it. Maybe. Am I out of ammo now? No. Do you run out of ammo in this game? Yes, you absolutely do. And it respawns over time. Okay, understanding. Understanding. Junkyard dog. I know. I gotta get the moose. I remember the spot. There we go. Oh, that is so jank. Yay, I got some ammo. Woo! SNES, the SNES ports of Genesis games aren't always that great. Clear reminder why nobody plays Mickey Mania on the SNES. I honestly didn't even know that Mickey Mania was on the SNES. That's funny. I don't like the ammunition system of this game either. Yeah, he already done a lot of Doom ports in the past over the years, but at least the Doom episode wasn't a clip show. He gave all of them a fresh look and ranked them at the end. I think it seems like a lot of YouTubers that have been around for a while are starting to retread older stuff. Oh, come on, just grab the frickin' thing. There we go. They're starting to retread like old ground, and I think it's just because it's quote-unquote easy content for them. I don't know. I'm sure James put work into his Doom video like he does with everything, but I've noticed like a lot of YouTubers going back and making like talking about something that they've talked about previously. And I think it just comes down to the fact that, like, their current audience is kind of shifted. So, like, their current audience might not have been around when they're, when they originally released that stuff. So, and maybe, like, people keep asking. I thought that said I thought that said wanking at first. Oh, that's funny. Dyslexia is fun sometimes. Oh, good old wanking. The wanking boss. Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not enjoying this. This feels like one of those games that, like, you really have to play a lot of before you tune into it. I remember liking this game as a kid, but I also remember basically every time I played it was like this, where it's just, I don't know, getting my ass kicked, don't really understand, like, the level layout, or... Ugh. Just everything being, like, loosely designed and stuff. I'm not gonna say it's bad. Clearly a lot of people like this game. There's obviously something I'm missing. And I feel like if I were... Very cool. I feel like if I were to put a lot of time into this, I would tune into it. But I am currently not having fun with it. It is kind of frustrating to play, actually. I would like to at least beat the first level before we hop to something else here. What the frick? Oh my god. It's a spectacle. I'll give it that. Like, damn. Oh, God. Oh my god. It's just so hard to frickin' dodge stuff. Jim's sprite is like a mile wide. Alright, come on. I think this is the boss. We're gonna do it. Ow. We're not going to do it. We're failures. I am failing. Friggin' just cough. Oh. Coughing up fish on me. Come on! I feel like this is the safest place to be. Yes. I can't even tell if I'm hitting him. That's always a great sign. Now I'm out of ammo. Okay. This game's kind of frustrating. Oh, I know what I need to do. It's the box, isn't it? Do I need to... Yep, that's exactly what you need to do. Okay. I am starting to understand, I guess. That seems to be the play of the day. Oh, God. Shoot the box. Yeah, thanks, Ghost. I got it now. Ugh. Shoot the box. That's what we need to do. Yep. Okay. And then he shoots the fish. I should jump that one. It's gonna drop another box. I'm gonna shoot the other box. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna launch a fish. I'm gonna jump it. More box. I'm gonna get hit by that. Why not? Okay, I don't like this. Oh, come on. Get your ass back over there. Yeah. Oh my god. Drop that box. Come on, Fatso. Come on. Ow. No, I messed it up. Give me another box. Come on. Son of a bitch. Come on. Give me another box. Okay, he's just not gonna stop doing that, is he? Ugh. Come on, please be the last hit. Please be the last hit. Oh, thank Christ. Jesus. Okay, there we go. Shame the remake of this is now lost to time. There's a remake of this? I didn't even know that. Still weird to think this was made by GameLoft. Oh, that the remake was. I was gonna say this was made by Shiny. And the asteroids. What? Is this the... Yeah, okay. I do remember this. I don't quite remember what to do, but... Oh, that it looks like. You gotta hit Psychro. I do remember that. His name is Psychro. Come on. Oh, good job. Is that just like a special stage, or is that the actual stage I need to do? This is the actual stage I need to do. Okay, cool. We're gonna do some racing here. Through a wormhole. Oh, Nelly! I mean, as frustrating as this game has been for me, I can't help but marvel at the presentation. It is just like such a spectacle to play this game. Oh god. I'm hoping the goal is just to win the race. And not to like do anything else, because I don't think I can handle doing anything. Don't hit the rocks. Not quite sure what the bubbles do. This is probably one of those games that like you need to read the manual to understand what the hell's going on in some levels. Ah, da. Did I do it? Did I win? I think I won. Woo! All right. Heck yeah. The hell, this level is fun, but this game, it's mid-tier side-scroller. Is it? I always hear people say this is like one of the best of the system, but I've never like gotten into it, or best of the generation. The music's great. I mean, I think I do like the Genesis music better, but I am enjoying the Super Nintendo soundtrack though. This is probably the farthest I've ever gotten in this game. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, actually, that's not true. I think I remember the level after this. Oh, God. Okay. Jesus, there's like... Oh, God. This is just one of those games you have to memorize. That's all. That's what it is. You have to remember where every enemy is positioned, because if you don't shoot them right away, you're just fucked. No, why did I choose yes? I'm done with this. I can't. Sorry, Earthworm Jim fans. I can't take any more of this. We're bouncing. We're bouncing to some Klonoa. Oh, thank God. A game I like. No, I did. I've been playing Pokemon for the last 2 days, so I got the Nintendo fingers, is what I'm calling it. You know, when you play a Nintendo console and it messes up your like muscle memory for everything else, I got the Nintendo fingers. What do we play? We're going to the PlayStation so we can play some Klonoa, which I know is on here because I just played it the other day. Yep. Let's go to the K. Go to the K. Klonoa, Door to Phantomile. Never played the sequel. Always hear good things. Never played it. Half the absolute sterling magic of the SNES is the music and the super effects. Metroid, Zelda, Yoshi's Island, and of course all the RPGs wouldn't be half as great without their wonderful music. Yeah, I mean, when the Super Nintendo music is done right, it's fantastic. Same thing with the Genesis, too, but it seems like, I don't know, that's kind of true of most game consoles, but it seems like, love these pre-rendered cutscenes. They're so cutesy. It seems like the Genesis and the Super Nintendo in particular, if you didn't know what you were doing with the music, it just turned into a pile of crap, and it really sucked to listen to. Some Genesis games have great music, most notably Sonic games, but in general, the quality just isn't there. Almost everything sounds grungy and lo-fi. I think that's what makes it great, personally. I don't know. I honestly think obviously, I greatly prefer the Genesis sound over the Super Nintendo sound. I'm all about that FM synthesis over the sampling that the SNES has, the sampling capabilities. I don't know. The grunginess and bit-crunched flavor of the Sega Genesis, maybe it's just because I grew up with it, but I think it sounds fantastic, and I like the Super Nintendo sound too when it's done right, but if you're gonna, I just prefer that sound over, the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo has what I call the chonk, the Super Nintendo chonkiness. Like, even the good music, like some of Super Metroid's tracks, just have, like, this really dull, like, thuddy sound to them that I don't know. Some people describe it as, like, a full sound, and I can see that, but it just kind of sounds muffled to me, is the best way I could describe it. And that's kind of how I feel like about like Link to the Past and not Donkey Kong Country. Donkey Kong Country seems to rise above that, though. I don't really get that muffled sound with I will start a new game. I don't remember where I left off on my game. This will access the memory card. And that's kind of how I feel about the graphics, too. Oh, it's gonna put my name in here. Okay. Let's just get that. Oh, I hope I can skip all the cutscenes at the beginning of this game. Let's do that. I don't know, that's kind of how I feel about the graphics comparisons between the Super Nintendo and the Genesis. Like, Genesis has fewer colors, but sharper graphics overall, whereas the Super Nintendo has higher color palette and can have more sprite. Well, in some cases can have more sprites on screen, but everything tends to be chunkier and more, I guess, rounded, and the resolution isn't as, or not the resolution, the sprite work isn't quite as crisp and clean, and I don't know, both are great, but Super Nintendo's got a chonky feel to it. That's about the best way I could describe it. Great game, both remakes. Visuals don't look as good as the PS1 original. Still might get the collection just to play the second game. Yeah, I do really want to get the collection. The first time, I'm going to try and skip the cutscenes here. Great. Nice. Yeah, the first time I ever played this game was actually the remake on the Wii, which looks great and sounds great, but yeah, the PlayStation 1 looks better. I don't like the actual voice acting in the Wii version. Like, I think Laura Bailey did, what's his name? Hupo? Your little blue friend. And I don't like that. And nothing wrong with Laura Bailey. I mean, she's a fine voice actress and all, but she's in everything, so, like, hearing her in alright, I need to grab things. Hearing her in a game like this just is kind of distracting. Oh, right, I forgot how to do this. You know, you'd think that having just played this, I'd remember how to play it. That's not the case. This game is so freaking colorful and beautiful, though. It's so nice. And I'm not gonna take the time to collect everything. We're just gonna play through here, man. Let's just go up there. Oh yeah. Okay, I always want to get from conversations about music. Okay, what I always get from conversations about music and sound is that you can never pinpoint to objective points. I think we could all agree on that. I absolutely agree. I agree with Noah here for the most part. I think music and visuals are just so subjective that you can't put, I don't know, you can't put it into words most of the time. Fungi agrees with me because they feel the same way. So, like, you feel the same way, so you understand what I'm saying. But when somebody's, like, you know, talking about, like, Live Coil's talking about, like, the Super Nintendo feel, I don't really get it because I don't feel that way. I don't think either party is wrong. It's just that it's such a subjective thing. You can't describe it. You can only experience it, and it's hard to experience what other people are feeling. If not impossible. Probably impossible. Come here, I need you. Oh. There we go. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Ta-da! But at the end of the day, I don't think it really matters, because, like, you know, the great console war is over. Both the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis are badass, so it doesn't really matter. I just like the fact that, like, both systems were actually, like, different enough to have conversations like this. I feel like that's, like, the only real time in, like, video games history where, like, a console quote-unquote war actually made sense, because the competition was so different from one another that there was a lot of good points on both sides. So yeah. Klonoa Empire of Dreams? Is that the sequel? No, the second game is Lunati's Revenge, right? Or something like that? No, I've never heard of Empire of Dreams. I thought there were only 2 games. Is there a third game? Alright. Donkey Kong Country OST is just a beast of its own soundtrack, and with the recent restored of the trio. What? The recent restoration of the trio. There's a recent restoration of Donkey Kong Country? Really? No, I've never played Klonoa Empire of Dreams. I don't know what that is. We can objectively say the sound chips between the SNES and Genesis are technically different, but yes, preference for either style is subjective. I prefer the SNES sampling. It's cool if you disagree. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, you know, and I don't, yeah. I think Fungi Arts agrees with that, too. Like, I don't know. The fact that, like, one has, like, this massive, like, sampling side of it, and the other has this massive, like, FM synthesis side of it, I think it's just a testament to how unique each console was, and yeah, preference is a thing. I tend to like, I don't know what it is I like about the Genesis. Maybe it's just a nostalgia thing that I grew up with it. I don't know. I have noticed, though, at least with the visuals, I have noticed that I greatly prefer sharp visuals over, like, colorful visuals. Like, given the choice between, like, more color or sharper visuals, I'm going to choose sharper visuals every time. Like, when I was buying the Steam Deck, like, I wasn't really interested in, like, the top model because it has, like, a better screen, but some people were saying, like, the colors were better on that screen, but they weren't as sharp, and I'm just like, well, that's a deal breaker right there for me. That might just come out of me being a video editor, too, because, like, I hate when my videos look, like, soft and fuzzy. There's just this look to them that I don't like, and when I get the sharpness just right, it's a thing of beauty. And that's how I feel about, like, the Genesis graphics, is, like, they're nice and crisp and sharp, but they're not as colorful as the Super Nintendo. I mean, that's just a fact, because the Super Nintendo has, like, what, like 3 times the color gamut that the Genesis is even capable of? Something like that. Oh, cool, I can skip that too. Nice. Oh, it's a GBA. Oh, I didn't know there was a game on the GBA. Interesting. Isn't gameplay just as suggestive? Because visuals, audio, and gameplay is something that can be described by people who know the field, but most people, it just ends up being on how it feels. Yeah, I think... Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel, I guess. I mean, there it is, you know, like I said, that's how I feel, you know, instead of how I think. Like, gameplay is a very feel-based medium, I guess. I guess what I would say to that is I hate this concept, and I'm not saying you were saying this, Tish, not by a long shot, but I hate this concept of, like, you know, this game feels bad, therefore it is bad, sort of thing, because I think context of a certain feel determines whether it's good or not. So, like, having the stiff controls of like Earthworm Jim, like, that was a weird control scheme, but also kind of fit that game, even though I wasn't enjoying it, and it was starting to get a little frustrating for me. It definitely fit that game, so I wouldn't really say they were bad, because I think if you were to have more, you know, tighter controls, or that weren't so, I don't know, so weird, I think it wouldn't be Earthworm Jim at that point. And, I mean, there we go, we're kind of talking in circles again, too. But, I mean, if you have, like, a game that has, like, really shitty controls, but it's like a horror game where, like, you know, you want your player to be uncomfortable and kind of just, like, never get comfortable with the game to reinforce that idea of powerlessness in a horror setting. In that case, I think, like, having bad controls, quote unquote, only makes the game better. And I think it was Live Coil Archive pointed out a few weeks ago a Stop Skeletons from Fighting video where he called that, like, I forgot what it was called. It's like obtuse design or something like that, or I forget what it was. But it was basically, like, saying, like, you know, some games you just have to, like, get used to the controls before you can start to appreciate, like, the quality of the game. But again, there's a lot of subjective room there too, so I don't know. I kind of, whenever I hear, like, a reviewer say, like, you know, this game has bad controls, and then they immediately move on, I question if they actually got to know the game well enough prior to reviewing it, or if they're just going off of, these controls are different from what I'm used to, therefore they're bad, as opposed to these controls are stiff and clunky or something, but they serve the overall purpose of the game. Because I think that's a different question. So I've definitely had games where, you know, I thought they would be better if they had better controls, and I think those are the games that, quote unquote, have bad controls, if that makes sense. I don't know. Subjectivity. It's all subjective. Everything's subjective. All that stuff. Yada yada. I like Noah's point about competition for sure. Not since SNES and Genesis. Nintendo is still in its own ball court, certified seltzer moment. Still in its own ball court, but the PS, ABS, Xbox, and Xbox past few games have been relatively homogenized. Yeah, that's pretty much straight up. Is like, you know, there's not really any much difference between, like, you know. Well, I don't know. I guess PlayStation and Xbox kind of have their own little pockets too, but they certainly have a lot of overlap between the two, and Nintendo carved out its own market, which I think the Steam Deck is starting to cut into, and I think Nintendo's getting worried, which is kind of funny. I like it, because Nintendo could really use some more competition, if we're being honest here. My 2 cents, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze is the best OST of the last 10 years. David Wise is somehow improving. I do remember really liking that OST. I wasn't so big on the game itself, but because I'm not big on Donkey Kong Country, but yeah, the soundtrack was great, definitely. What I mean about Donkey Kong Country Restored, someone was able to get the keyboard and samples. Oh, the composer used for the SNES, it was about to restore it to how the original should sound. Interesting. Okay. I'm always thankful for growing up with several different systems. Had the honor to play with the SNES and Mega Drive thanks to my parents. That's why I always like both, and that's why I don't understand the console wars. I was all about that Sega. Yeah. I'm grateful that I started with Sega because I feel like, and I'm not saying this is true of every Nintendo fan, it seems like people that grew up with every single, like, you know, started with like the NES and then got a Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube, Wii, on to current days. It seems like those Nintendo fans, that anything that's outside of like the Nintendo norm is like, I don't know, forbidden material to them, sort of thing. Those are, I think that's a breeding ground for like a toxic community. And I feel like a lot of like Nintendo's toxic fans come out of that. Like, I'm all about Nintendo. I've always been about Nintendo. I'll only ever buy Nintendo because Nintendo is the best, even, and just can't see any of their shortcomings. However, growing up with Sega, and again, not saying all Nintendo fans, definitely not true. But having grown up with Sega and having Sega die and forcing me to jump ship to like Sony and then Nintendo and then Microsoft and doing all that stuff, I'm able to see the flaws in everybody now, including Sega, because looking back, Sega's kind of a shitty company too. And so's Nintendo. Nintendo's a really shitty company, but Sega's not too far behind. They're both pretty bad. Microsoft's the worst, though. Oh, hi, Becca. Hey, Noah, do you remember the name of the game that you guys had where it was a different Disney princess and the consoles looked like a blue, yellow, and pink Eiffel Tower? I have no idea what you're talking about. There was a different Disney princess and the console looked like a blue, yellow, and pink Eiffel Tower. Huh. I'm afraid I don't remember that. Jimbo Dragon said this earlier. There's 2 USA Klonoa games on GBA, and 1 Klonoa RPG game where you can use a fan translation. I am blown away that there's more than 2 Klonoa games. This is news to me. Oh my god. Guess I did point out that Stop Skeletons from Fighting video, the principle is stubborn. Thank you. Stubborn game design. Was really well put stuff. Reviewers like him, and you help keep my critical mind sharp. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I mean. Stubborn design is a very good term for that. I'm not going to forget it now. Gameplay is subjective, as I am pretentious. Very. As subjective as I am pretentious. Very. Absolutely. The old console wars was a 90s and 2000s thing. It was about trash-talking each other, just like sports and other things. People like their tribalism, regardless of what it is. You know, I think it's just human nature to kind of like want to put yourself in a group and, you know, bash the other. I think the console wars, the idea of the console wars, the people that didn't take it seriously, it was kind of fun. At least, you know, when I was growing up, maybe not when I was growing up because I didn't really know any other Sega nerds, but definitely when I was like on the Screw Attack forums, like, you know, we still had like the console wars between like the Genesis and the Super Nintendo. It was kind of fun, just, you know, picking sides and just spouting hyperbole, just, you know, for the fun of it. But you could always tell when there was that one person in the group that just took it way too seriously and just had nothing good to say about, like, Nintendo or nothing good to say about Sega. And that's when the fun stops, is when those people show up. Growing up with Sega probably made you sympathetic to the underdog, which made you more open-minded. Indeed, Nintendo fans can sometimes suck, as they have a company as a company have really fallen. Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, and that was the thing. Like, you know, I don't want to say. Yeah, when I was a kid and the Sega Genesis was still a modern console, quote unquote. I didn't know, I knew like one other person that had a Sega Genesis, but they also had like the NES too. So they weren't really like a Nintendo person, but then everybody else at my school had a Super Nintendo. So to me, I kind of, this is a weird way to put it, but I kind of felt like Sega was like the cheap option that only like poor kids had. I mean, we weren't really poor growing up or anything, but we didn't have a lot of money, but the Super Nintendo was a lot more expensive, and even as a kid, I recognized that. So I kind of felt like, you know, I got like the... It's almost as if I felt like, you know, the Sega was the only thing that was better than nothing sort of thing. Even though nowadays I greatly prefer it over the Super Nintendo, but I don't know. I think it was just, as a kid, maybe it was just the fact that I didn't have access to one because I knew a lot of people. I keep fucking up here. Because I knew a lot of people that had it, but none of them were really like close friends, so I never like got to like go to their house and play it or anything like that. So it just kind of seemed like this foreign thing that I'll never have access to. And maybe that's why I hate gatekeepers so much, because I felt kind of like the people that had a Super Nintendo in my life were like kind of gatekeeping, like, oh, you don't have a Nintendo? You have a Sega sort of thing? And it was usually like, you know, kids in my class that I wasn't really friends with, but, you know, I was forced to interact with because that's school. That's how it goes. Get some hearts here. We need some hearts. So I don't know. Maybe that's why I hate gatekeepers so much. That's probably why. Makes sense. I skipped your message. I'm sorry. You have... What am I missing here? Yo, it's your sister thing. Boo is talking about the little plug-and-play game Mom bought at Walmart, much like the Wheel of Fortune game we had. I figured I still don't remember that. It was all a dream. I mean, my sister says that it's a thing, so there's that. I don't remember it, honestly. I do remember the Wheel of Fortune plug-and-play thing we had. I'm sorry, Fungi Arts. I skipped your message. I'm trying to find it. That's why you don't understand the console wars. Ah, yes. No, I read that. I don't remember. I'm having a hard time keeping up with chat today. You guys are keeping the convo alive. I love it. What about that Sonic thing? What Sonic thing? Hey, there's Colin. How you doing? Just dropping by for a bit. But what you been playing on the stream? Oh, we played Sonic Blast finally earlier. It was amazing. Just kidding. That game's awful. Now we're playing some Klonoa. We played some Streets of Rage 2. Sesame Street. We played Sesame Street. Tanish started a Discord for Sesame Streets of Rage, which is a ROM hack that's now being created by the community. It's fantastic. Can't wait to play it. Becca, at least Kirsten knows what you're talking about. I have no idea. Oh my, kids these days. Sorry. Hope nobody's watching this for the story because we're skipping it. Can't believe I missed such a momentous occasion like Sonic Blast on the Master System. We're probably going to continue playing it next week because I only got like 3 levels in. So, we'll be back on. I'll try and wait till you show up next week if you do. Okie dokie. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny because it's awful. Ta-da! I really wish I would have bought a copy of this game back in the day because it's so expensive now. Are all of my messages showing up? I feel like I might be missing some there, Fungi. Because if you're posting a link or any profanity that's worse than like poop, YouTube will censor it. So, I feel like I'm missing a few. Check the actual screen, because if your messages don't pop up, they won't pop up on the screen itself. But yeah, I feel like I have the one where it says you skipped my message, and then the one previous to that was finishing your thought on the console wars. That's all I have from you. So I might have about that Sonic, and then I have about that Sonic thing. So I feel like I might have missed a couple messages from you, and they're just not in the chat. So YouTube is absolutely terrible when it comes to their like auto like censoring and stuff. They're very, very strict. We're still trying to find a way to have people come to my Discord. Any sharing link or anything with the username gets deleted. Yeah, case in point, probably the same issue that Fungi Arts is having. Since you're on Klonoa, have you played the Wonder Swan game? Okay, now you're telling me there's a Klonoa game on the Wonder Swan? I just found out there's Klonoa games on the Game Boy Advance. I thought there were 2 Klonoa games on the PlayStation, one on the PlayStation 1 and one on the PlayStation 2. And now you're all telling me that there's this whole spectrum of Klonoa games I've never heard of. What the frick? Oh yeah, I started with Ristar. I also forgot about that. You started with Ristar. There's a frickin' Wonder Swan Klonoa game too? Jesus. I see. So I was talking about how I hate people blame Sonic games for everything, especially 2D games. It's mostly the reviewers playing badly. Yeah, there's a good example of what I was talking about. Like, as bad as a lot of recent Sonic games are, I also feel like people don't give them a fair shake either. Because I feel like even the bad Sonic games all have like interesting ideas at their core. It's just most of them don't get executed very well. So like, and Sonic 06 is a perfect example of that. I think, you know, that game gets shit on because it's bad, but it's bad because it's not finished. And people, you know, are starting to come around to it finally because, you know, there's a big fan effort that's remaking the game and fixing it and all that stuff. But I feel like Sonic is one of those series that like people don't take seriously anymore, so reviewers feel comfortable half-assing their reviews. And I also feel like that's just the most common thing with like mainstream reviewers especially, and I'm talking about like IGN and GameSpot people. Not to say there's anything like, you know, bad with those people or that they're all wrong or they're all bad, because every site has good reviewers and bad reviewers and stuff like that, but the general trend of mainstream reviewing is, here's a game, you might get it like a day or two before the game's released, and you have to get it played through and get your review out as quick as humanly possible, because if you don't get it out within like a week or even a few days of the time that game releases, the website's not going to get clicks. We're going to lose advertising money. You're going to lose your job. So it puts reviewers in this position where they can't take the time to truly get to know a game and understand it on a fundamental level, so they can only understand it on a surface level, which is why, and I think developers know this, which is why mediocre games tend to be what most developers shoot for, because they know that if it's just baseline level of quality, it's going to, you know, it's going to basically make it easy for the reviewer to get through it in a few days and see 90% of what the game has to offer and be able to give it a fair shake, and then they'll be done with it and move on to the next game, and then it'll be, you know, mediocre enough that it'll appeal to the most people possible, and it'll have favorable reviews because, you know, more people are able to review it because it's easier to play through. And so it's a win-win, except for everybody, except for, you know, people that actually care about true quality in games. But on the same time, like, you know, somebody like, you know, a smaller YouTuber that like really dives in or takes their time. I need to grab enemy here. Can I not grab these guys? Oh, I can. I just gotta wait for them to open. Okay. Like a smaller reviewer, like taking their time, it could be like a month before... Oh, I need a key. It could be like a month before they get their review out. And by that, everybody's moved on to the next whatever, and then they don't get any clicks. So then the people that are doing like the proper review stuff and actually like, you know, giving things a fair shake, good or bad, and really diving into the meat and the core of what makes a game special, their stuff just gets buried by, you know, algorithms and lack of advertising revenue and all that stuff. So, I don't know. I mean, as much as I've, you know, as much as it sucks, because I get comments every once in a while talking, even just today. I just got a comment today on one of my Spyro videos I did back years ago, saying that it's criminally underrated how few views this video has, and my response was just like, that's YouTube. Because, yeah, I mean, I talked about the Spyro games when there wasn't much Spyro hype. It was when I was interested in the Spyro games. It wasn't after, you know, like the remakes came out, which would have been like the quote-unquote smart time to review those games. But that's not how it played out, because I like talking about games that I'm interested in, and I don't want to be like, oh, I'm interested in this game, but there's a remake of it coming out in a year. I'll just postpone my video for a whole year. I might not be interested in the game in a year, and then I'll never end up making that video, so the only option is to make the video I want to make, and then, you know, just, I don't get shit for views on it. That's kind of like my mindset for YouTube now, is that there's no way in hell my niche content, the stuff that I want to make, has much of a chance of gaining a wider audience, and that's fine, because the audience I have right now is great. You guys are great. If we had like a bigger like community, like, I don't know if it would be as, you know, tight knit. I certainly wouldn't be. I'm having a hard time keeping up with the chat tonight because it's very active. Imagine if we had like 100 people watching the chat every night. I'd never be able to keep up with it. So there's pros and cons to it. I'm just trying to focus on what I want to make, and we'll see what comes of it. I feel like I was building to a more profound point there, but I lost my train of thought. It's fine. Boing. Also, Klonoa's great. We're just gonna do that. Oh, I can't have a certified seltzer moment. I'm out of certified seltzer. Yeah, there are quite a few Klonoa games, apparently. They tried really hard to make it catch on. At least they tried. Exo Paradise Gamer reviewed them all. Did he now? Oh, I haven't watched his videos in a long time. Let's see. A lot of Klonoa games didn't leave Japan. That makes sense. Pretty sure there was beach volleyball There was a beach volleyball spinoff. That's amazing. When you have the time, you should try Klonoa Empire Dreams. Was the first game I played in the series, and honestly a hidden gem on the GBA that needs some love, great music, and fun puzzles. Beach Klonoa game. What? Yeah, my response exactly. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure the Klonoa Beach Volleyball game was released in both Japan and PAL regions. Very well put. Thank you, LiveCoil. I appreciate it. Reviewer turning the score yellow on Metacritic for Frontiers. Also reviewers with Pokemon Green. Nice. YouTube is still kind of the Wild West, but I think the worst. Small audiences are the best audience. Agreed. I still remember the promo you did for Spyro. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. That kind of like spawned my recent obsession with like puppetry and stuff, which hopefully I've said it a few times, but I have been like getting into like puppetry and stuff for my videos, but I haven't really released anything that I've been working on yet. So hopefully I'll finish something in that vein soon and be able to share with you guys, because yeah, that Spyro thing I made, I just kind of did it like as a quick promo because I thought it'd be fun. And I kind of realized doing that I really like puppetry. And I just happened to like get back into like the original Muppets TV show right around that time. So, yeah. Ugh. Good times. Gonna end the stream here pretty quick. I am getting quite tired. That was some Klonoa. Next time we're gonna start with Final Fantasy IV, because we didn't get to it today. I wish you could be more popular. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. But I will say fame isn't a good thing. Constant scrutiny, lack of privacy. Kind of like being part of a small group like Here and Now. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the double-edged sword of, like, YouTube. Is like, you know, part of me wants to, you know, grow and get a wider audience, but at the same time, that comes with, like, negative stuff, too. And, you know, I'm not so concerned about, like, the lack of privacy and stuff. I feel like since I'm not on other platforms, it's not going to be as big of a deal because, you know, people aren't constantly, like, scrutinizing my Twitter or, you know, my activity on Reddit or a Discord or something like that. And yeah, but if I did have a bigger audience, it would be so much harder to interact and like build like relationships. And yeah, it's the double-edged sword of YouTube. I hate that, but you know, what are you gonna do? Maybe I'll just never grow. I guess that's fine too. I am enjoying it. It just kind of forces me to focus on what I want to make anyway, because I don't know. I feel like my worst videos are the ones where I was trying to, like, you know, push myself out there or, like, trying to gain a wider audience and stuff like that. Or, you know, as much as I enjoyed making those Sonic videos years ago, it did draw a lot of people to the channel that are only interested in Sonic stuff, and they aren't interested in what my channel has always been about, which is, you know, video game criticism and the love of the medium itself. Sonic was, you know, just a small part of like me growing up as a gamer. It's never really been what's defined me, and in fact, I'm not even that big of a Sonic fan. You know, outside of like the classic games and a handful of, you know, Sonic games here and there, I really don't care about Sonic all that much. But the vast majority of my subscribers are people that came from those Sonic videos I made years ago. And, you know, a lot of you guys probably found my content through that. But you stuck around because you realize, because you also like the other stuff that I make, the stuff that I was making before the Sonic videos and have made since. So, but then, yeah, I just have like, you know, 2,000 subscribers on my channel that don't watch anything because it's not Sonic related. And kind of sucks, honestly. I wish there was a way to, like, you know, to like let people know ahead of time what they're getting, so people did, I don't know, maybe like you have to watch a certain number of videos before you can subscribe to a channel, so like you don't just go, oh, I like this one video, I'm gonna subscribe, and then, oh well, this guy never makes that kind of content, why did I subscribe? I don't know. And then the YouTube algorithm punishes you for having subscribers that don't watch your stuff. So like the only way to succeed on YouTube is to like upload stuff until you get a bunch of subscribers and then just keep making that one thing forever and ever. And I'm not that person. Noah doesn't deserve cancel culture, neither drama. Oh, thanks. You just don't know my dark secrets and my political beliefs. Perhaps I'm apolitical. There you go. I don't have any strongly held political beliefs whatsoever, so I don't think that's a problem. But who knows? I don't know. I am, you know, approaching mid-30s now. That's when people start getting political. Oh, yeah. Well, do what you want. This be your main job, your main income. No, Brian pays all the bills. I just do what I want and take care of the house. That's my job. I am the household, I guess, caretaker. I'm the landscaper. I am the carpenter. I am the mechanic. I work on... We drive really old cars, so I work on our own cars so we don't have to go to the mechanic. Much cheaper. So great. Yeah, so I take care of all the household stuff, and I make all my, you know, YouTube stuff and various other artistic projects, and Ryan pays all the bills. It's great. Oh, yeah. I think a full critical review of Ristar would be cool. I have always wanted to do that. Both the Genesis and the Game Gear. Absolutely. Cool idea for Noah's to do small reviews like games they can't make a full video. I do have some ideas to get back into doing that. I definitely... I feel like that's probably the biggest thing that's holding, like, my channel back from quote-unquote success is I just don't upload enough, which is absolutely fair because I don't upload as much as I would like to. Ideally, I would like to upload once a week. I'm shooting for bi-weekly next year just because I think I can reasonably do that, or at least be close to it. So we shall see. But I do have some ideas for like some smaller videos like I used to do back in the day with like Noah's Game Room. I'm kind of over that idea, but I do have some ideas for replacing. We're going to get to that. And like I said, I have like 6 videos I'm working on right now, so maybe one of them will be done soon. Like, no rush. I want you to enjoy making videos. Thanks! I have enjoyed making videos, so lately. I'm a big Sonic fan, but I joined also because of your reviews. Also more skits or stuff that involves some kind of story, like the Sonic 3D Blast video. Man, Funky, you're going to love some of the shit I've been working on then, because that's exact... No, I'm not going to be like the AVGN and get burnt out. Or at least I'm going to try not to. But yeah, if that's what you're looking for, Funky, with more skits or stuff like my Sonic 3D Blast video, you're gonna like what's coming up. Hopefully the one video I've been working on for like a freaking year now will appease you on that case. Wink, wink, nod, nod. All right, guys, it has been real. It has been fun. I am going to take a shower and get in my pajamas and cuddle with my cat because he's probably wondering where the hell I'm at because it's 2 minutes past my usual time. So the 3D Blast and Knights reviews are what sold me. Yeah, I gotta get that Knights video back up. I privatized it because Nintendo keeps putting a copyright claim on it, even though I've successfully fought off a copyright claim on it like 6 times. It's because I used music from Super Metroid, and they don't like it. Yes, the juice! All right, thanks everybody. I'll see you next week for some more streaming action. Thank you all for coming out. It has been... Have fun. Have an amazing day. You all too. Have a great week. Okay, bye!